Hello, this is Blades in the Dark, one last score for GauntletCon 2018. I have with me the fantastic Alan, the incomparable Joey, and the absolutely delightful Leandro. This is actually my first time meeting any of them, so I'm just going to go with superlatives because it's safe. Speaking of superlatives, this game is going to be a high-flying action. We're taking Blades in the Dark via one last job, so these characters are going to be hyper competent, hyper old, and hyper dangerous. We will be using the X card, which is used when something makes you uncomfortable in an unfun way, which happens. And so you just do this, say X card, we'll rewind and we'll go a different way. You don't have to explain anything about it except perhaps what it is. Say, for instance, like somebody betrays you with spiders. We might need to figure out which one of those is the offending incident and then go around. So, if it's all right with you, I want to jump right into it. She says, changing her tabs and pausing. So, you're all retired. You have your normal, say, weekly, bi-weekly thing where you go to the Vale, which is a wonderful little vice den out in Night Market. Become close personal friends with Roland, the proprietor. And, well, this time it's different. You usually get there like right when it opens and things like that, but it looks... But immediately something is wrong. The windows are bashed in. There's no sounds of music or talking or anything like that. And when you walk in, you see poor Roland is out in front of the bar, clutching his leg, and has this... It was groping for a pistol when you came through the door, thinking that perhaps his assailants had come around to finish the job. When he sees you, he's extremely relieved. So,
what's that, Roland?
Roland. Apparently no D. D's cost extra, and Duskval is cheap. So we're going to do a paint the scene sort of thing. Somebody says something that they see and who they think would be a good person to fill in that spot. So, for instance, I can go first if you're all a little uncomfortable with that. And so what I'm going to do is take a quick look at the character keeper. I will, because I'm feeling extra spoopy today, I want to bring in a spider. So as you're, sorry, not spider, whisper. When you're looking around, you can see all of this electricity. Well, not electricity, but damages from electricity arcing all about. And there's a faint smell of ozone. And you can tell that some of the ghost barrier technology that was in this in the Vale is busted. So next step is I look at the example names for a whisper and say, it's a good thing we have oh boy. What? There's no names? Oh no.
The GM reference thing should be in there somewhere.
All right. So it's a good thing we have Vestine here, the Whisper. One of these days I'll actually figure out where everything is. They came. They are. There's someone who hides behind a concealed sort of look. They have a delicate They have a delicate air about them. Wear a slim jacket. And who wants to pick up Vestine, the Whisperer?
I'll happily take it on.
All right. So now you describe something that the characters can all see and propose a playbook that somebody else will jump on, and we'll go until we're out of playbooks.
Okay, I just need to get a list of playbooks in front of me. Hang on. Okay. It's just as well, given the violence that's gone on here, that we have a cutter with us. Shall we say Chael the Vicious Thug, because he happens to be sitting in front of me as I read. Chael the Cutter, because I think that this could get violent. Is that the sort of thing you mean, River?
That is absolutely perfect.
I can cut.
Sorry, I throat caught there.
Leandro, do you want to jump in on the... Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I didn't know we were contagious to each other over the internet.
That's what I get for drinking tea with shrapnel in it.
No, you went for it first. You can have Chael if you want.
Right then. So, what, Alan? What do we know about Chael? Like, what does he look like? Sound like?
He's bound to be muscly, taller than average, probably scarred, and even in retirement, he probably has bruised knuckles.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was that one time. I mean, our best leech took it on, but some of these never quite heal. It is what it is, though. I can still make a fist, so meh. Wow. So I feel like I'm sort of boxing Leandro in here a little bit. Right, but yeah, it's not unusual for me to just sort of lay back in a situation like this and act as though I'm barely even paying attention while taking in the room, sort of tactically speaking. And as glad as I am to have Vestine here, it's also a good thing that we've kept up with Casta, our hound.
How do you spell Casta?
Casta, pulled off just a random name from the list.
What does Casta look like?
Oh, yeah, so Casta is like hunters, hounds love to sort of stalk and sneak up on their target. So I don't think I've ever seen Casta without a hood concealing their face. Right? Just small, nondescript, compact. You know, the type of person that where you don't pick up the menace right away, but it's there.
Nice.
Pardon me while I chew my tea.
So,
River, you're muted.
Oh, I said you actually do have escape tea leaves in there. I see.
No, I'm drinking yuzu cha. I don't know if you can
Okay.
see it, but there's like whole chunks of citrus fruit in there.
Mm,
Delicious, but dangerous when you need your voice.
yes.
Okay, so I guess we don't. I don't need to do my turn. We're all here. We're all assembled this night in this nightclub.
Sorry, I got distracted by the help desk channel. What was that again?
Just saying, like we're all assembled now. I guess we don't
Yes.
need to keep. Oh, yeah.
Yes, we don't need to introduce new characters, but I want you each to introduce a complication to helping out poor Roland here, and that can be done by going through the place or talking to Roland and stuff like that. I want to try to do this as much in character as possible, and then when as we get to like roles and things like that, we can get to like filling out the rest of the character sheet with like what would be the starting skills and things like that.
Okay.
So we have, just to be absolutely sure, we have Shale, Costa, and Vestine. So Roland says, Shale, Vestine, I'm so glad to see you. Oh, hi, Costa.
Casa immediately ignores him and goes straight for the crime scene.
Anyone give me a help up here? I'm terribly indisposed. Pull him up and help him get situated in a chair, a nice comfy chair.
I kind of ignore his face and look down to see if he's left a pool of blood or anything.
No, the shot seemed to be from some sort of energetic weapon. It burned a nice hole through his knee.
Crikey.
It's definitely like it's going to take a long time to heal, and it probably won't ever heal back properly.
Vestine, looks like your problem here.
What happened here, Roland? Who did this?
Just a second. I'm just going to use the example of one of the examples. It says, they had some tech. It looked like it came from the Dimmer sisters.
Oh, God.
I remember distinctly that the pistol they aimed down at my knee. I could see something like a twisted face howling inside this glass vial when they shot it. I wouldn't want to go up against that sort of tech.
What did you do to piss them off?
Nothing. I don't think I did anything to piss them off. But they love to have their fingers in everything. So
can I would I know what this weapon is? As a whisper. I mean, I'm just looking down the list of items I could possess. And I'm seeing electroplasm vials and a fine lightning hook. So I'm just curious, really, if I could identify what the weapon was.
So, that sounds like a study roll. And if you want to say, if you want to engage a little flashback here to talk about how you would have seen something like this before,
Okay.
you can add an additional box to study
Okay.
and roll with that.
Okay. Are we using that link to the common dice roller, or how do you want to do this?
Oh, yes, I should probably do. Let me get the roll for your party set up.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Early Strong Skink. That is an excellent name.
They're never bad, honestly.
So run that by me again. Oh, there it is. Yeah, right. Okay, so. Oh, okay. There we go. So I'm trying to do this on two screens, which was clearly a mistake. Okay. So
I'm moving all of the note stuff over to the other screen. That way I don't have to switch windows anymore.
Okay, so study. I think I have 1 dot of insight in study.
Right,
so the flashback, I think, is that I will have. We did a job. It was a long time ago. And there was another whisper, and we had the drop on him, and then he just whipped out this bizarre looking piece of kit, and it didn't make a hole in us, but it made a very nasty hole in the furniture before we put him down. That's my recollection.
All right. That sounds good. You are in a controlled situation. So that means the consequences of this, if you fail, aren't going to be bad, but it is going to be standard effect because this is still kind of unusual. Now, you can decide to roll with that. You can take a devil's bargain. You can use stress to, yeah, gleeful. You can burn some stress to get additional die rolls. And so what this would do is put you in better position when you're going to go take down their tech. I put the phases of the op in, and one of them is disable the tech.
Okay. Then I think I'm prepared to risk a little bit of stress.
All right.
So am I doing the sums right? 1 for study, 1 for the flashback experience, and another 1 for stress?
Right. And you actually get to bump up your study to 2 now because you get 4 flashbacks for stats. So in character creation, we would be pausing and you'd be filling that out and be like, oh, what do I really want? We're just going to add them in play.
Okay.
Now. So yes, you have 3 dice. We are looking for 4, 5s, and 6s. Well, I should say the highest of 4, 5, or 6. And look at that. You got a 6.
Okay.
Which means that it goes swimmingly. No downsides at all. Which is good.
It's very good.
Yes. So yeah, the comparison between upholstery and human flesh is kind of immaterial when it comes to a weapon like this.
So what was it? And are they common? Do we know?
They are extremely rare. You have to be in a very privileged position to get this, and it is highly illegal. Somebody did this specifically to him to send a message that we have the tools to take you down and make you miserable. This is this is I'm going to call it a Geist Vial weapon. That it sort of, you capture a ghost into it and you can siphon off its power to produce effects like this. It's extremely dangerous and can go, since you got a 6, I'll say it is very dangerous for the user if someone manages to break that vial before the ghost is completely siphoned off. Ghost gets real unhappy about having its essence siphoned off.
Okay.
So, but the real big question is, I should say, so now you know a weakness of the tech, and you know where it likely came from, the Dimmer sisters.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, exactly. Very, very dangerous. My favorite fictional positioning. What was I going to say? Now, you could say, do you have a bunch of options here for how you want to disable their tech? Because I'm sure none of you want to actually face down with any of these weapons.
No.
When we go to plan that stage of the op, you can say, try to talk and sleaze your way into working with the Dimmer sisters in order to get some secrets for how to protect yourselves, and then push past it. Or you can try to steal a sample to reverse engineer a fix or something like that. But that's going to be one of the stages of the op, is to disable their tech. And so there's a bunch of other options. There's a bunch of options there. So for the Cutter or the Hound, what do you see here that leads you to some greater understanding of who did this, or why they did this, or how they did this?
Well, like you say, there's scorch marks, burn scars all over the place. Clearly, they were primarily trying to send a message. But this was kind of messy. Sorry, I almost slipped into a Star Wars line there. Imprecise, just going for show of force. This was not somebody who's trying sort of the cold-blooded, scare you with a stare thing. They were just spraying and praying, like a drive-by shooting almost.
Yeah, and they're not good. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, please.
Yeah, and they're not good at covering their tracks in the sense that when they came in, they clearly it's obvious where they came from. There's dirt and ash that didn't come from the fight. It came because they came in guns a-blazing and just were actually insultingly sloppy, so to speak. Then actually Casta's just shaking their head oh, come on. No. Also, while they're doing this, Casta is helping themselves to some of the beverages in the nightclub.
Of course. Well, that sounds like you're establishing your vice. That's the other thing, is that I also get to do this back at you. If you look like you're engaging in a vice, I'm just going to add it to your sheet. But that's good, because that allows you to recover some stress between phases of the operation. If we start to look like we're running low on time, I'll skip a phase of the op and we'll go to the finale. If it looks like we're really, really super down on time, I will skip even the engagement roll to the final op and have you facing down with the big bad. Just however. So we don't have a game clock for this. We have a real space clock
Actual clocks.
that we're playing against.
Oh,
There,
meta.
my glasses always have meta. Yeah. So Costa, what would you like to know about the muscle?
The muscle that came in.
Yeah. Do you want to know, for instance, how would you like to get rid of them? Would you like to scare them off, pay them off, intimidate them, sink them into the nearest canal,
Uh,
sell their contracts to a Leviathan whaling vessel?
yeah, Casa's no blood, age has, maybe back then, in their prime, there would have been like, yes, sell them off and make them go hunt evil demon whales. Sure, why not? But here, Casa's gonna settle for like, just gonna like intimidate them, like wreck their operations, hard enough to know that you try to ruin one, watering hole, your watering hole gets ruined as well.
Awesome. So you want to give a show of force back, and you're going to strike something that they care about to show them that there's consequences for their actions.
Yeah.
Love it. So, what do you see here that would tell you where they came from or where they are going? Or we can pick that up, later.
Would the dust and the ash on the floor that you mentioned, Castor, would that tell us something about where they came from, or was that generated here, do you think?
No, this dust, this particular sort of mud, it's too distinctive.
Yeah, they tracked it in.
Yeah. I'm trying to simulate wearing a scarf. So not a scarf in your but no, yeah, it's distinctive to another part of Duskfall, I'd say. Like, not that they marched a long way, but it's like whatever their clothes they're wearing. It's like they brought their work clothes along. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So I can say that you can gather some of that dust now, and that can give you some positioning for, say, a hunt roll later to figure out where they came from, or you can try to do something with that now.
I think I'll take some of that dust for now. And
right.
the way you see it is that Casta's lying on the ground with like tiny bottle tincture, just like slowly moving out dust and mud in there. And
what does it smell like? And is it like fine granules or sort of like clumpy?
It's kind of clumpy. It's like soot, really. It's kind of ashy in that way, but it's it's ashy, and actually I don't know what soot is like, but it smells of fire. It smells of fire. It has a burnt smell.
So not like the whale oil fires that people would see. This is a different form of fuel, like wood or something, or coal or something like that.
Yeah, it's not exotic, because if it's demon whale fire, it's probably way more distinctive.
Right. Cool. Awesome. Now, Shale, this is probably not your strong suit, but you could try to get some information from rolling about who did this. You do have command at one.
Yeah.
You could also decide that you have a consort to, play buddy with him. So.
Right. So I go over to the bar where Costa has left the open bottle in his shot glass, and I while sort of looking Roland in the eye, I pour Costa another, pass it to him, and sort of say over my shoulder, you look like a blue coat when you do that.
Yeah, I'm still on the ground.
Right, of course, yeah. So it's handed down. So you must have seen them. What did they look like? What were they wearing?
This is, well, they had, they were wearing jumpsuits, pretty typical worker stuff, but I don't know, they just, they look like you all looked when you were just getting your career started.
That's a trifle insulting.
Yeah, also because Casta's wearing the exact same scarf they've always worn over the years. So they're triply insulted.
Not to. Your scarf is wonderful as always, Costa.
Thumbs up.
All right. Enough with the bartender flattery. All right. So yeah, I'll lean down in his face and get a good double fistful of his clothes. You must have seen something more than that. You were shot at.
Sorry, it's all very hazy. This sounds like a command. And do you want to do a flashback to indicate to describe how you've used this sort of tactic before? The really juicing somebody for some information.
Sure. And Vestine might recall this. It was kind of a minor thing. We needed to. We were working a guard for the posting schedule for a place we were about to break into, but he got hit by a stray ghost file, and lucky for him, it didn't kill him. It just took half his memory. Give me about 15 minutes one-on-one in a dark room. A tool here, a tool there. A tool right here. Next thing you know, he's got his memory back. And a couple fewer teeth. But yeah, I have some experience at jogging people's memory through sheer force.
Yes, and so mostly you're jogging his memory about how you can jog people's memories.
Whatever works. But yeah, at this point, I'll give him a good solid shake. Now, I don't think I'm going to push, so should I just go with the 2d6?
Yeah, you can go with the 2, and this is, again, controlled. Standard effect, unless you have a good way to boost that effect up, say by taking some stress or something like that.
You know what? Actually, I'll go ahead and propose that there be a devil's bargain.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, there can be. Sure. What would I like to offer here? Tell you what. You can press them very hard for information, but if you do that, it's going to draw some bystanders, and it's going to draw some blue coats, which means you'll need to mosey on out of there before they show up, because a couple of you are probably still technically wanted.
I mean, who needs that kind of trouble, really?
Right. But yeah,
Okay.
right now people are scared away because there was a big kerfuffle. But if people get the notion that the danger is mostly gone, you'll start getting bystanders and lollygaggers and blue coats and all that sort of jazz.
I think I might go to the door and just discourage that.
Right. All right. So you're going to go.
So there's a degree of privacy maintained.
Yeah. So Vestine's going to go to the door to act as lookout / deterrent. So are you going to take that bargain that you press him hard and he'll shriek or something like that and gather attention?
Okay. Yes, I accept the bargain that it gets loud.
All right.
Okay, I see what you did there. So that's 3d6 total?
Yep. So go ahead and click on each one and then do reroll selected.
Oh, okay.
Oh dear.
Just disappeared.
Oh, sorry, those were mine. I just realized.
Oh, no worries. I'll roll 3 fresh ones. No big. There'll be color.
I saw that there was a 4, a 1, and a 2. Oh, but so that's basically
same outcome, really.
Same outcome. All right. So so you push him up against the chair. You get in his face, and he says, "Shale, what the fuck are you doing? I'm your friend. Jeez. Why would you? God, look, all right?"
A wise man told me once to do what works.
Don't shove that line back in my face. He sort of grabs your shoulder and his hand is sort of like clawing into it. You jostled his knee out of position, and so he's really wincing. He says, "You know what? I do remember something. One of them had a coin purse hanging off his hip, right?
Mm-hmm.
It had the Lamp Black's emblem on it. I don't know what I did to piss him off, but that's certainly where the coin came from."
See? I knew you could remember something more. And with that, I think we'll bid you good day.
He grabs a hold of your collar and says, "I told you if you ever pulled that shit with me, you wouldn't be welcome here anymore. Well, until you get these fuckers off my ass, you're not welcome here anymore, Shale."
Police whistles. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Festine,
Mm-hmm.
we've got to fix our drinking hole.
Have you got us banned from somewhere again?
Never sticks.
Oh, jeez, you're not even drunk yet. Okay, so what did you find out?
Hang on. This sounds like a possible flashback to establish your character's advice. Maybe you tried to go clean. So, Alan, have Vestine tell us how Shale lost control once, and
just more than once. More than once.
One particular time.
There was a time
recurring time.
There was a time when he'd hit himself to help to encourage other people to remember stuff if he was far enough gone. No, I mean, Shale, it's your go-to response. If somebody says, "I don't know," you hit him. There was that guy in the market. You said, "What's the way to?" I can't even remember where you wanted to go. And he said, "Oh, I'm not sure." You hit him. There was that. There was that blue coat. Remember that blue coat? There was that blue coat.
No, which one?
Oh, they all look the same to me. he came to ask a very straightforward question. It wasn't even about us, and it wasn't kind of incriminating. It was kind of what time does that bar open? And you thumped him. You know, I mean, and Roland's a mate. We like Roland. Roland liked us.
Do you understand that it's a good thing that I have reflexes? How many times have I pulled your ass out of something?
There is a truth in that. There have been occasions when your preemptive use of aggression has been helpful. But, you know, it's been a while since we've been out on the street. Just rein it in. We're not the men we were. We need friends.
Wait, when has that ever done us any good?
Well, I know this gang used to have 5 people in it, but that's by the by.
Fair.
All right, so I'm gonna put Thrill Seeker as your vice. Then you're just somebody who, I guess that counts as pleasure. I think it's also established by your bruised knuckles that you still, in order to feel alive, you got to hurt somebody or hurt yourself. Oof.
So if we're about to like fade to a new scene, I'd love a shot of the 3 of us like walking down the alley and, you know, turning to Vestine and saying, "You handle ghosts, I push in noses. This has worked for so long."
Yeah.
And what is Costa's reaction to this little banter?
I'm shaking my head, but I think the camera pans, and in one of Costa's pockets is the vodka bottle. It's like, oh, here we go again.
Sticky fingers.
Oh wait, it was vodka. You didn't grab gin. What's happened to you?
I didn't grab this for you.
All right, so
The trouble with you, Castor, is you just grab stuff because it's there.
Never failed me before.
Mr.
right.
Calling, man.
So we have 3 phases to the op. We have disable their tech, get rid of the muscle, and revenge on the Lamp Blacks. So we know the tech came from the Dimmer Sisters. We know that the muscle came from working class, you know, folk, probably jobbers like yourselves who, you know, at the sort of the start of their career, probably have bitten off more than they can chew. We know that we want to scare them off, sort of let them know that their actions have consequences. And then there's the Lamp Blacks, where you want to actually get revenge on the SOB who called in the hit. So that means you still need to figure out who among the Lamp Blacks called this in, whether it was, you know, the important Mucky Muck all the way at the top or one of the lieutenants. And you still need to figure out who exactly did the hit and find a way to break that lightning tech, because that Geistfile tech, because it's scary.
Well, if these, if the muscle, the actual hired guns, are this incompetent and this low level, and they just got a big payout, couldn't we just put some feelers out through the city and see if there's any workaday jobbers who are suddenly partying like rock stars?
Oh, that is a very good point.
Probably already celebrating their payday.
No, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's do that thing.
So let's run from there up the Lamp Blacks and see what shakes out.
have any contacts, or do we just ask around?
At this point, this would be a time that you could introduce an ally. So if you look, dangerous friends, you can introduce one of those that you are going to hit up. I'm going to say that this would be someone Costa knows, because this is her area of expertise.
I just looked at the deadly friends, and one of them for the hound is Casta, a bounty hunter.
Yeah,
Oops.
Sorry.
Oh,
No,
yes.
I actually
Sorry,
think this
yeah,
is incredibly funny. I think this is another bounty hunter named Casta.
Oh no. Yeah, the Duskfall trademark office is still working that one out.
And I think I don't want to say they look exactly like me as well, except with a different color scarf. But
Okay, so
just went up with the hoodie, man.
the good luck.
So I want to say that this person actually, the Casta 2, we'll call her, tends to wear blue and like has a uniform that is kind of maybe reminiscent of the blue coats, but not close enough to exactly get in trouble, but enough to make people think that she's sort of a person of authority instead of just, leg breaking and stuff like that. What is your relationship with Costa? Is she a friend or a rival? Or maybe once was a rival, but is now a friend since you've gotten out of the biz?
Yes, I think back in her youth, it was one of those borderline flirtatious rivalries that always had a lot of ridiculous tension that I don't know if ever got consummated, but at this point they're just like, oh yeah, that's in the past. They were not just friends.
I just flash back a long way to moonlighting.
Moonlighting, except both characters have the same name.
Yes.
And then I start punching people.
So what I'm going to say is that completely, not so the audience gets to see this, but not the other two jobbers. There's a hazy flashback to when Casta and Casta 2 were sitting on top of a roof somewhere, sharing a drink, and then a flare goes up, and one of you rolls her eyes and says, well, looks like I'm back on the clock. Which one was it?
I think it was her.
Okay. So Costa 2 had to go back on the clock. And maybe that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
That was kind of like the start of the end, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, as your lives got more and more busy and more branched apart.
Yeah.
So, it's early in the evening. Where would Costa be hanging out?
I'm kind of imagining Costa hangs out a lot with, I wouldn't say animals. Something's a zoo in Duskwall, but like they live by themselves. They're not friendly a lot. They drink a lot at the nightclub, but that was about it. And
Okay.
honestly, usually they hang out in the nightclub, but that's not an option. So I
All
think.
right. I've got one.
Okay.
Then they have a pattern at one of the parks in sort of a like middle income area. If somebody can think of a good neighborhood for that to be in, awesome. If not, I'll just leave it on.
Spoken book. Very nice book.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I should go get my copy.
Actually, you know what? It's it's in a little place that's trying to get revitalized on the near the canal that splits Silk Shore and Barrow Cleft.
Okay.
Like some of the more rich merchants or the madames, they sort of started to make residences there. So they were knocking down some of the decrepit buildings and like making a little space for themselves. It's like another like a arts and leisure sort of area for this dank, hopeless little clutch of islands in this delta. And so you, so Costa 2 tends to go there and look after some of the animals around dusk and make sure none of them are getting beaten up and maybe stitch some of them up. So I suppose you would say Costa has an obligation, her vice is an obligation to these wonderful little creatures. So who's gonna go approach her? I'm guessing it's gonna be you, Costa 1.
Yeah, I think I'll just walking, trying to be casual, and just right behind her, just goes, Costa.
Hello, Costa. She doesn't turn around to face you. Just pulls a little bit more feed out and sprinkles it for I don't know, something a little weird. Say hedgehogs that have like come out. She starts looking them over.
You've always talked about looking after animals once you're off the clock.
Yeah, so why are you bringing work here? You only ever talk to me anymore when there's work.
That's what happens when we do the things we do. Our lives just become work.
Well, it's also been a few years now since you've ever come by. Thought you were out of the biz. I can smell the dried blood on your bruiser back there. So what's the problem?
You know,
She still hasn't turned around.
Yeah. No, it is. Try to get out the biz, but the biz just keeps trying to find you. Even you least expect. 3 of us we're done. We were properly done. But this city just keeps churning, you know.
Oh yeah.
Bunch of layabouts thought they could just go around spamming electroplasm and wherever they want to, and now the veil has been shut down. Not happy about that.
That's a pity. Was Roland still alive?
Costa looks at that Shale there, and it's like, most of him's fine.
So she finally stands up and she sets down the hedgehog that she was looking after and says, "So what do you need, Costa?"
Simple things. We just need to know if there has been any new crews or new folks celebrating sudden big paydays. They'd be working class folk or ashy parts of factories here in Duskwall. Sloppy. Pathetically sloppy. You'd cringe seeing them.
Well, I do know a particular person that I put away a little while ago, just got out of the clink. And I know I've seen some boys running around with some additional coin in their pocket over in the heck did I call that place? Silk Shore. So, the question for you then is, how is this worth my time?
Sorry, that's my dad just yelling about Canadians. I don't know why. Hold on, let me just close that door.
Canadians curse them in their health care and
Yeah. Relative progressiveness relative to the rest of the world, especially their neighbor down south.
yeah. Oh yeah. So yes, so she is. How is this worth my time? And sort of crosses her arms. Well, crosses one arm and the other one goes into her jacket.
There's a cutaway to Vestin and Chael just saying, why doesn't he offer her a date?
Right? Meanwhile, my hand is also gradually inching toward my favorite belt knife.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think Costa kind of opens up their arms and they're like, "I'm an open book, Costa. Just a book you haven't seen in a while, but."
Oh. So this sounds like. What does this sound like? Sounds like we're getting up on an action roll. And let me quickly look and see which one of these is the.
Sway.
I'm thinking, yeah. So sway would be good. Yep. Oh, it specifically says seduction. So yes.
Should I pull out the vodka bottle? No, that's too gauche. Would offer vodka for a date.
So the same sort of thing applies. You can give a little bit of a flashbacky piece of information about how you have used sway in the past to establish that this is something that you're somewhat competent at. And I will say that you are in a risky position because there's a narrow window of opportunity to gather this information before it becomes a lot harder.
Okay. I think I'll flash back, to when Costa, I think when they first met Costa, and it was kind of like this as well, managing to convince Costa to like, all right, I need some dirt on, I don't know, a hedgehog peddler. Illegal hedgehog peddler way back when.
Really know how to push your buttons, man.
Yeah. That was the start of a beautiful thing. I was not a friendship, a thing.
I mean, we could just amp it up and say that you were trying to break up a dogfighting ring if people are okay with going that dark.
Yeah.
Okay. And this revealed her love for animals to you, that she jumped in on this really big. And how did you know that she had a soft spot? How did you know that she'd be the one to go to about this?
I was gonna say this devil's luck and Costa got extremely lucky.
I love it. Pure stupid luck is one of my favorite ways to do things. So you have one die.
I'm gonna push myself. I don't trust your devil's bargains.
But I have a good one.
Too bad.
The eternal dilemma of the Blades GM.
Too bad. I have a choice in this matter.
Right. I mean, do you want to hear it?
You know what's fine. Fine.
No, you have to hear it.
Okay, all right.
Come on.
Okay, all right. Pitch me this bargain.
So she wants to show you what she's built in the area. This means you're going to have to spend time with her, which means that you're only going to catch the guys right as they're leaving their, from their little distractions where they burn their spare coin. So the devil's bargain is, she wants you to spend some time with her, and that means your time ends up. You're getting them at the very end of the window.
Go for it. Go for
Okay, I think I turn to my wingman. I kind of go,
it.
yeah, I'll go for that. That's 2d6.
And you said you were pushing yourself, so that's 3.
No, the thing is, you can only choose to either push yourself or take the devil's bargain. You
Good
can't do
point.
both.
Good point.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Unless someone wants to assist. I don't know how I did assist. How do wingmen?
Well,
I really don't want to spend any time examining her animal shelter. I've got other plans, but
he's taking that devil's bargain.
Is this the time to mention that they killed Roland's dog?
Wow.
Oh, that's some good help, my friend.
So, is Vistine like rushing forward and like, oh, Michael,
I will go.
I will whisper very loudly, Castor, don't mention the dog.
Awesome. So you can decline the devil's bargain and take that one, or you can do both.
I think you can. The assist as well comes with the. I think you can have the usual roll or what you get for the action.
No, I'm saying that you can elect to not take the devil's bargain.
Right.
Okay.
Because you haven't rolled yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. As much as I think it'd be adorable for Castor to be forced to go to an animal shelter, I might decline that and just take the assist. So that's 2d6. Right.
Okay.
So, fingers crossed.
So you're rolling 2d6.
All right, that's a 5 and a 3.
Okay.
And I mean, if nothing awful happens, it wouldn't be Blades.
Right. So I'm going to give you a complication on this op. The dog was not killed. It was stolen.
Oh.
Oh, wow. This just took on a whole different character.
So what she quickly discerns is that the dog was taken by these hoodlums. And so she says, I'll help you on the condition that you get that dog back to Roland.
Condition accepted.
If you fuck it up, taking it out on your ass.
Why do I feel that I end up on the wrong end of that devil's bargain?
Well, you offered help.
I did.
You
I did.
offered help, and so it's got to be something that's inconvenient for you too.
Yeah.
It's like you decided to be
good.
the devil, Alan.
Yeah.
Retrieve Roland's dog.
We have a dog to deal with now.
Or suffer Cathatu's wrath.
Okay. Jesus.
Is now a good time to point out that the only thing I hate more than waiting is conditions.
Dogs. Yeah, dogs.
Don't like the parameters of the job changing mid-job.
Your character must have spent a lot of time grumpy then.
Does that surprise you at all?
Okay, so she says, you know that place that the greenhorns come back to after their first big score out on the seas?
Yeah.
Oh, of course they're in Silk Shore. Why didn't I think to look at hers?
What's a name? What's a good name for this establishment that's a little gross?
First blast.
The what?
First blast.
First blast.
Oh my! I was about to ask what sort of establishment it was, but
you could go either way with that.
Just so happens that this would be a slow time for them. There's no whaling ships that are expected back. So this is a place that, yeah, it's a step up from the usual brothel. It's where greenhorns who just got their first paycheck and they want to party hard go to. It is a vice den of many flavors. They got powder, they got booze, they got women, they got men, they've got a cure for what ails you, and that what ails you is a pocket full of coin. So you have time to do this, to get there, to find these jerks, politely inform them that they lay off your friend. In the establishment, it'll go real bad. So, how about we take our first bio break? How you want to approach this, and we'll come back and we'll vote. Whether it's stealth or smashing or whatever. Sound good?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely pro bio break. Thank you. Back
Thank
in.
you.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Back in 5
Back in
minutes or
some
so.
number of minutes. Hey, Alan, do you mind if I warm up some lunch?
No.
I'll just mute while I'm eating it. Unfortunately, this time slot perfectly spans my lunchtime.
No, and I'll be doing the same between this one and the next one, so don't worry about it.
All right, be right back then.
I do feel like maybe I'm being a little sillier than Blades normally is, but
well, River, I've never played the game. I've read it, and one of the reasons for wanting to play it was that I'd quite like to run it for some friends. So I always like to think that I'm always more confident with a new game if I've seen it played.
Yeah.
So no, you know, I think it's going fine. And look, the dog was my idea.
I just, I mean, it's a very classic sort of thing with the job that the complication is like this is like an additional objective, or you're raising the alarm, or some sort of like clock gets ticked down. We haven't reached any of the clocks. We haven't had to use any clocks yet, but I'm sure it'll
Time
happen.
will tell.
Oh, I mean, it's clocks are part of the, I don't know, part of the core of this game. So, so we're all back.
Nope, sort of. I've got some food cooking, so I apologize. I may have to mute periodically.
Yeah, that's good. That's fine. So I will say this: the first blast, is in a pretty well-traveled part of the Red Lantern District. It is a, so if you're going to go in there, people are going to see you unless you're really, really slick. And because it's a pretty well trafficked place, you probably don't want to go guns blazing or show up there like you're loaded for bear. So I would say just as the GM's suggestion is that you'll come in with a light load, but we will see exactly, what we want our approach to be.
Just help me. I've got a range of special abilities in front of me as Whisper. Do I start with one of those?
Yeah, you can just pick one of those whenever you want. You don't need a flashback for it, and you get 2 more, but you have to justify them via flashback.
Okay. I'm just one. There's a thing called strange methods. When you invent or craft a creation with arcane features, take +1 result level to your roll, and you begin with 1 arcane design already known. And what I'm putting out there, I think, is this idea that I have a device that gives the impression that I have a ghost at my beck and call. So I'm kind of thinking that we almost find a way to encourage them out of the final blast, and then put the fear of God into them.
Like it. So, like right off the bat, man. I don't know how much you've dipped into the setting, Alan.
I've read the book.
Okay.
This is deeply scary shit.
Oh yeah, I love it. I find it really hard to bring to the table sometimes. Like, not every group is just ready for that tone, but it's there, if you want to use it. So I'm thinking, Alan, a device that, like, how magnetic induction works?
Yeah.
Right? You move a magnet around the wire, it induces a current. Maybe if you can get electroplasm cycling through a device at the right speed, it would create the same vibrations as an active ghost. set off all the alarms. Essentially like putting a lighter to a smoke detector.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I love it. So we should note your what do you call it somewhere? Your little device.
Yeah. Let's call it my induction wheel. Yeah. Because the wheel is carved, is marked with obviously arcane symbols to just whip in some electroplasm from the environment and in tiny amounts and give the impression of a ghost being present. Would that work?
Perfect. I'm going to call it the electroplasm induction wheel.
You're not setting that off near Casta's dog.
No, because you're going to scare the daylights out of it. It's not Costa's dog. It's Roland's
Oh, yeah,
dog.
Roland's dog.
Roland's dog.
Sorry. Yeah, Casta, me is mixing up in character. Because that was meant to be in character.
So, what's the approach? I've already poo-pooed assault and stealth.
Social or occult?
So there's deception, there's occult, there's social, and I don't think transport applies here at all either. So deception, occult, social.
Out of curiosity, like, what is our ultimate goal? Like, do we want? Because I'm going to go a different way if we want to kill them all than if we just want information from them.
So
we need information, don't we?
Yes.
Possibly about like who actually ordered the hit, but
yeah, we want to intimidate them and scare them. It's the ghost.
The stated objective is to let them know who they're messing with. That way, they don't do it again.
Okay.
If you happen to kill a couple along the way, then maybe that's fine. But you don't want to do it in broad lamplight.
So this is shut down the muscle, not further investigation, right? This
your primary objective is to shut down the muscle, and if you get some cool stuff happening, you get some like bonuses and stuff, or even some interesting complications can lead you to understanding more what's going on.
Okay. So this could either be, let's see, we're not attacking them. Just kind of deceiving.
I'm just kidding, but
what if we use the induction wheel to cause what amounts to a fire alarm inside the place, drive them out, and then have you two just take them in an alley?
Drop the proverbial hammer.
Intercept them while they're on the run? Yeah.
Do we know exactly who they are?
So that would be an occult approach then.
Okay.
Oh, no. I am definitely down with that. I would like to sort of identify them ahead of that. Like, we might want to go in and do a bit of surveilling.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That can be, say, the important detail is how to determine them from the rest. And so
maybe one of us can go in, get drunk, and be all like, "I heard someone took the veil down," and because we're assuming they're sloppy and ridiculous, some of them will be like, "Yeah, those." Well, yeah, it's a bit of an assumption to make, but
all right, awesome. So yes, since the heart of it is the so I'm still a bit iffy on exactly. So the detail is the arcane method. So I think that's going to enable the engagement roll. I think it's going to give you good position for the engagement roll. So it's going to give you +1 die. We should probably start setting it up. So there's one for sheer luck, 2 for doing a bit of reconnoitering ahead of time.
Mm.
And you also know that they have a dog with them, so this means that it's easier to point them out.
Big
They brought the
mistake.
dog to an establishment.
Big mistake.
Well, maybe they might have.
Okay.
But if they did, it would be. But anyway, regardless, you have a good fictional positioning for it. The detail is you're going to scare the daylights out of them. But I will remove a die from the engagement roll because this is, what can I say? If you guys screw this up, it would be really bad for you.
Mm.
The people here, the madames and masters of these houses do not take to chicanery lightly.
They live in Duskfall. Come on.
Yeah, and so they would.
I don't suppose that Quellin, my witch strange friend, works here, does she?
Nah, I don't imagine
Okay.
they would, but
Higher kinds of friends.
but maybe one of the other ones would.
Hmm.
I mean, there's, it seems to me to be good territory for a vampire, but
or possessor ghost.
oh yes, Neric's the possessor ghost.
Tourists.
I'm just trying to think of a way to just up the ante in the sense of that kind of risk to make it more likely that we won't come a cropper.
Right. Well, if you pass Nerix a note, maybe with some coin in it, they'll help you complete the illusion.
That would be good.
So that would be worth a die, and give us a little taste of Nerix's. I'm going to say that Nerix is possessing the bartender at this point.
Okay. Yeah, Nerix is a thrill seeker. That's why he possesses people in places where there's a lot of action going on. And he gets a kind of he just picks up on what's going on around him. So it's
like getting contact highs.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
He just sucks up that emotion.
So how did you encounter Nerix first and figure out that there was somebody hitching a ride on this person?
I exorcised him a decade ago from a wrestler, and I could have just crushed him, but I let him go, and he's owed me one ever since.
All right.
I warned him that he had to stop getting involved in stuff which hurt people.
Right, exactly. So no more getting into the ring with Shale, for instance.
Indeed. In fact, I seem to remember that was where this started.
Right, that there was somebody who would never put themselves at as much risk as to get into a casual fight with Shale, and now this fighter took a complete different change in personality and went gung ho. Love it. Right. So he said,
No more of that.
Leave campsite principle. Leave the host in better shape than you found them, and we can do business. Love it. Okay, so that will give you 3 dice for the engagement, and whoever wants to roll that can roll that. I guess since it is the Hound, since you are going to be the one in the thick of it when it inevitably goes sideways, you can roll.
Okay, 3d6.
Yep, all 3.
Let's see where. Okay, a 5. Okay, good. Could be worse.
Yeah.
Okay. So 5. I believe I still get to throw a consequence at you. No, you get through the very first thing. So Vestine, what does it look like when you get this device in place and
Begin to turn the handle.
And what do you call him? Nirix starts hamming it up.
Okay, so you know, I'm sitting leaning over a table, much as I'm leaning over this one, and under my coat, between my legs, I'm beginning to wind the wheel. And the first thing people notice is that the lights begin to flicker. And where the lights are, there's a slightly greenish hue. And then the barman...
And the barman, yeah.
And then the barman shouts, and Nirix manifests above him.
Nice.
And there is just screaming. And then I dare say Nirix...
I claim this mortal! Shouts Nirix.
Whoa.
And slips straight back into the barman, who begins to behave oddly, throwing himself about and twitching as if fitting.
The ghost, when Nirix dives back into the host, the body throws a glass up in the air and like swipes the counter and like seriously community drama production style. But the
and at that point I stand up, shout, "Possession! Everybody out!"
Nice. From
so yeah, go ahead.
From the shadowed alley just outside the front door, I sort of hear Vestine's shout, and I'm like, "Yep, here we go."
So
I'm hoping that Castor has spotted the right victims with the right dog.
Right. So the complication, I will say, is
2 dogs.
Oh no.
No, it's even better than that. So this dog wasn't just around for companionship. This was a working dog. It immediately started getting irritated when the winding was happening. And the crew, this dog was not slated for, you know, the pits or something like that. The dog is with someone who flicks down a little lens and stands up and produces a pistol. And this is where it's going to go wrong, because they have a whisper, and they are not taking kindly to this.
Oh, so much for the greenhorns. Okay.
So once a pistol comes out, people are hitting the deck. Some of these guys that are dressed similarly, they are booking it out the door. They don't want anything to do with this. But now you have an actual dangerous adversary that you have to face.
Okay. I mean, I have to stick with what I said, which was shout and run. You know, I need to create the impression this is indeed a dangerous thing.
All right, so you're going to try to book it out of there then with
that was the plan.
Sort of run out with the other guests.
Yes.
Castor,
Trying to
what were
keep
you
one
doing?
of them between me and the gun.
Right. Castor, what were you doing?
So Shale was in the alley.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, that's why I didn't ask, because Shale's there lying in wait.
I think I'm. I was also in the bar. I was shadowing.
Mm-hmm.
I think what my idea was like, okay, they're gonna go to the alley and Shale's blocking their way. and I'd be right behind them, like a pair of pistols.
They are. Some of them were going for the back exit, so I guess you could.
Yeah, but this motherfucker here is
Has changed the
Yeah.
Yeah, change the engagement some.
So I think I'm staying in the bar. I'm standing up, and I've also drawn a pistol, and I'm pointing it directly into their face, and I'm just like, "Give us the dog."
All right, so you are drawing the attention away from Vestine to yourself, and away from the barkeep to yourself. And are you trying to get them back down, or do you plan on shooting anyway?
Oh, did they? I kind of want to just talk.
Okay. So that sounds a lot like a command, then.
Yeah. Yeah, I can use a flashback to...
Yes, give us another standoff.
Why does this keep happening? No, I don't want to be lazy and say it was another whisper. No, it was... I think... No, I do kind of want to relate it to whispery stuff. I think way back when, Vestine accidentally managed to summon the ghost of not an old foe, because more like an old target, and they're properly freaking out because I don't know, something we did something that kind of led them to their demise, and they were freaking out.
All right.
Actually, yeah, Vestine, I think, managed to calm them down some way. Then again, ghosts don't really do that.
To tell them that, the situation is under control.
Yeah.
It also seems like you are using the sharpshooter special ability to get your gun out first.
Yes.
Excellent.
And also, I can take, according to the Google sheet anyway, I can take another move if I roll desperate.
Yes. So right now we're not desperate. So the first one is free.
Okay.
Because you get one as part of character creation. So when you engage in something that looks like the move will help, you can elect to take it. And it sounds like here you're kind of relying on getting your gun out first.
Yeah.
And so you will get command. Also, you'll get command from the flashback. That's 2 out of your 4 skill points. And give me a roll with command. I'm going to ski, and at the effect doesn't want to die today,
myself.
And so they're bound to get shot.
Sorry, can you say that again? You were breaking up a bit.
Oh, sorry. So this is there's electricity and stuff still surging about. So there's a moderate risk of harm from this, but you're in a it's gonna have great effect. You got your gun out first. You have the advantage of the superior positioning for violence. So I'm going to say that you'll have great effect in using your gun as leverage. But that doesn't add any dice. You still just have the one.
Yeah,
but you said you're going to push yourself.
Yeah.
So that is
2.
Is any advantage of the fact that the guy is drawing a bead on me while Castor puts a cannon in from the side?
That's not really. Unless you want to try to pull the attention towards yourself, but there's a decent chance that you will suffer the consequences. I don't think this is system, but that you will suffer the consequences instead of Casta.
Okay, yeah, I'll go for that.
How much?
I look over my shoulder and say, "You couldn't hit the side of a barn at 2 yards."
Ooh.
And
Casa almost like, what are you saying? Oh, wait, no.
They're like,
You're so punk rock.
throw open their cloak, their jacket. They're pulling their gun out, and their eyes go, "You, Costas," and Costas up and has the gun out, and then they're like, "Wait, which person do I need to shoot here?" And so yeah, that. All right, so give yourself as you're helping.
Okay, so how many dice
So
on total?
that is 3 dice. We are in a risk for great effect.
Okay. That's a 5.
All right. So this is some real quick. So apologies.
My internet's freaking out a bit, so I'm going to turn off the camera and see
Okay.
how it settles.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I'm just going to say that it works. They don't shoot you. So that's good.
It's a win.
Step 1.
They had their gun. They were swinging it. They were had the finger on the trigger, ready to pull. And when they see you level the pistol at them first, they let it just sort of hang off of their index finger and go, "All right."
You seem far too good to be running around with this gang.
Every gang needs a ringer, they say. So Scare the Muscle is now at is 1 on the clock.
No.
You need to get 6 in order to fully scare them off.
Have the others run out?
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
the others are in the process of running out.
Wow.
Cue Shale in the alley. Go for it, boy.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Hang on. I still need to announce the complication unless we want to jump
sorry.
back in progress. What do you think, Costa? Do you want to jump to the other parts of the scene before coming back for your consequence?
Actually, no. It's a better cliffhanger for the consequence. Then we can jump.
All right. The Whisper says, "I came here because I knew there was that thing behind the bar.
Oh.
I want it. I didn't agree to this," says Nirix from behind the bar. And that's where we'll switch over to Shale.
Okay. So the as they're emerging from the bar, it's kind of obvious who our targets are because they're still wearing those like jumpsuity uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Covered with distinctive non-supernatural ash. So yeah, as like the last of them trickles out of the bar and they're sort of looking around for which way to go, I lay into one of them with my custom-made kosh and proceed to knock out as many of them as I can in one go. I'm going to go ahead and...
What's a kosh? Is it just a big old stick or something?
It's any weapon used to knock somebody out. Like
okay.
In this case, since it's a fine kosh, I'm picturing like something I made myself out of a lead pipe, very carefully wrapped with cloth.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go ahead and check off not to be trifled with.
Oh yeah, awesome. That will let you, yeah, basically fight an entire group at the same time. That's awesome.
It's what I do.
So
yeah,
you just check the first line of goons with it, like a hockey player.
I was thinking about that, to be honest with you.
All right.
If I'd had a reason to sort of sense what's going on inside, I was going to like clothesline two of them on my way in. But this feels more thorough. So like, yeah, you know, like punch one guy in the jaw while I'm just doing a little wrist whip at the other dude and knocking him out over there. You get the idea.
All right. Sounds like skirmish. You're in a risky position instead of, say, actually, no. I'm going to say that because these guys are on the run, instead of going desperate to risky, is going to go risky to controlled. Since you have the advantage here, and I will say standard effect unless you want to burn some stress to pump it up.
I'm good. So the potential downside here is that some of them get away, or they're not like spooked, or they hurt me.
So yeah, so since we're in a physical tussle, you're trying to reduce you're trying to get ticks on the clock to intimidate them.
Mm-hmm.
Possible downsides can be you kill one of them unintentionally because that was not part of the mission parameters. It could be that you do get hurt, that one of them gets a slash in on you or something like that. So that's what's at risk here.
Okay.
Well, I should say at this point, none of them have weapons out. So most likely, if the consequence does happen, it's going to be from excess violence on your part.
Okay. All right. I will run with that with my paltry 2 dice.
It's fine.
Permission to clear the dice out?
You can just click them and re-roll them, or add some dice to it if you want.
Okay. Here they come. I'll take it.
All right. So that is, I will say that is a, yep, that is a success with a minor complication. You, I'm going to say that what happens is you scare off some of the rabble, but the people who you are left with are the people who are actually interested in fighting. One of the guys you knock down just sort of like stays down and puts his hands up. There's a woman in the back who just sort of moves her hands forward, and she's got 2 knuckle dusters with blades coming out the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And she's grinning in that same sort of look that you get when you go to kick ass. A few of the other guys go, yeah, and they like start forming a ring for you two to go at it.
All right. Can I resist this consequence?
How would you resist this consequence?
It's an interesting question.
Would you like nail the person, this particular skilled fighter in the jaw, say, with your
yeah, I mean, I've got an enormous reach advantage on her right now. So like if I can get in a really quick shot right, to her forehead and knock her out in one go,
all right,
I'm gonna take the fight out of the rest of them.
You are not in a super great thing for this. So when you resist, what you do is you look at how many of your skills or whatever they are you have a dot in, and that's how many you get to do. So this would be prowess, since you're trying to be quick on your feet and using violence. So at this point, you could put another skill point into into this, I would say, oh, I don't
Permission to
know.
do so. I know exactly what you mean. So we'll flash back to my younger days. How did I become addicted to ultraviolence?
There we go.
Well, I was a sort of bare knuckle underground fighter for a while. That's, when I first started discovering that was fun. And my rep in the ring was that I had incredibly quick hands. So I'd like to add a point of prowl to my repertoire.
Love it.
And I will. How the heck? Oh, thanks.
Yep. So what we see in the flashback is you getting out of a fight and you throw up your hands and it's awesome. And somebody's like, "Hey," and you just turn and with your offhand, hit them square in the nose and they go staggering backwards. And that comes to now you see the woman, she throws her fists down, the knuckle dusters come out. She just gets them and she gets the pipe across the head and one of them goes clattering and she goes down. At this point, her buddies rally to her side instead of forming the fighting circle.
Okay.
So now she's not particularly more dangerous than any of them. And you're not going to be in a one-on-one like fight to the death. Sadly.
It's scheduled for later this week.
Yeah, exactly.
So silly, dumb, like system question, but shouldn't that be a roll and cost me stress?
Yeah, you roll.
So yes, now you resist with that. So you'll have 2 dice, and you take stress equal to 6 minus the what do you call it? 6 minus the highest die.
Right. Okay. So
reroll those 2 dice.
The randomizer is acting suspicious, but fair enough. So that'll cost me 2 stress to conquer on the noggin.
No. It rolled double 4s again?
Yeah, exactly. You want me to hit it again just to see if it happens?
Sure.
Oh, you know what? I did not hit reroll selected. That was my mistake.
There we go. Awesome. So you take 1 stress from this.
Okay. How do you fill a box? Oh, never mind. I think I remember how this goes.
Yeah, just copy from one of the ones that's already filled and put it in there.
Done. Sort of.
So yes, you're able to clock her, sort of reduce her back to mook status for the time being, and you got you had another tick on the countdown clock to scare the muscle away.
Grr. Okay. Should we play this out or cut back to the other fight?
Let's see what Vestine is doing at this point. You helped, you accosted, and now your ally. Well, do you want to defend, or do you want to leave poor Nyrix in the lurch with this?
Technically, we're even. If their whisper takes Nyrix and goes, would that be another mark against the muscle? Do we think? Or do you want me to give you a decision and find out? Because if he's counted as among the muscle, then Nyrix,
yeah,
comes a time in every ghost's life when.
Yeah, that's true. This would, I would say, you can just sort of let this happen or even assist, and the whisper, realizing that you're okay with playing ball, actually, I will say, be converted into an ally for you.
So yeah, it's a look at the barman. It's a look at the whisper. It's a look back at the barman. And
Oh,
do you
you
want to,
damned wormlings and your
lyrics? You know, you owed me one. You've paid me back. We're even. What can I say?
Piece of shit. Sebastian.
And is this when because you said I've got another 2 special abilities I could notch up with a bit of backstory.
If you end up on a desperate roll, so if you would get an XP trigger, you can use this to up your character sheet.
Okay, no, because I was thinking about compel, but you know,
you can do compel, yeah. No, you're just gonna have to. You would have to.
No, we'll just let the whisper do their thing. Yeah, let's do the whisper do their thing. We're just not going to interfere.
Yeah, it was the if I helped, they might count an ally that I was quite interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So I could just join my attune, or I could aid the other whisper.
Yeah, so you can mark a stress, aid the other whisper in exercising your buddy. And that you're basically then trading a stress for an ally, which is not a bad trade.
Yeah,
I believe this puts you at like 3 stress though, because you helped.
Oh, you're right.
Twice.
Yes. Sorry, I have put myself about a bit. There you go.
Cass is putting away their pistol, and they're kind of like, "Kid, want to learn from one of the best?"
I didn't even think about the age difference. Good call.
I was sucking ghosts out of bodies when you were sucking on tits.
Oh.
Is that use a similar method for that old man?
Harsh.
So, so we've established position.
Yep. So let me see here. I'm going to say that. Yeah, I'm just going to say that since it's and it doesn't actually impact the stuff, and you're taking stress for it. I'm going to say it's going to mark 2 on the tracker, and Marsha. It will be taken out of the fight.
Okay.
And
so how many?
Worth 2 ticks.
So right. So does that leave us 2 up there? 2.
Yep, 2 left. Which.
Okay. Okay, Shell, just knock those off, would you?
Yep, I did.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, do we want to go back to say Costa with the Hound, or actually let's go to Shale. Let's see Shale breaking stuff.
Funny you should put it that way, because I think I know what to do next here. So I'm going to sort of gradually draw the fight toward the nearest street lamp. And then purposely, once I get under the lamp, I'm going to duel with my current opponent a little bit, cross-strike his leg, just take out his knee in one go, turn to the rest of them, and just stare the fight right out of them. Like, lean into the light, let him see who I am, and say, "You still want to do this?"
All right. I'm going to say risky, effect great, and you're rolling with command.
Okay. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo.
Do you want to take some stress, or perhaps have a devil's bargain?
Ooh. My stress is. Huh?
Because if you pull this off, you will clear this this track entirely. This scenario entirely, and you'll be scot-free.
What did you have in mind for the bargain?
What did I have in mind for the bargain? Gonna say, See, I've already done a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say that the head leg breaker of theirs swears revenge on you.
You know what? Deal. I accept your die. All right. Let's see. Okay.
I just need to find a name for this chica.
Oh, that one. The one who has a bruised forehead. Yeah, I can't wait. That's awesome.
Oh, they're gonna be like the boss before the final boss, aren't they?
Hey, she's just lucky I used the padded lead pipe.
The padded.
That's what I brought to the table today. So she is my guaranteed enemy, huh?
Yep.
All right.
She is Spur, the knife fighter.
Spur. Ooh, I need to do some research. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and throw the 3 dice.
Yep.
And, oh,
ding ding, we got it. So no other thing happens. You knock the guy in the knee. You demonstrate that you're able to get superior positioning in the fight. He goes sack of loose nails. And, the other guys start leaving, and she picks up her knife and says, "Do you mind if I carry this poor schmuck back?"
as long as you stay out of the veil, we don't have a problem.
"Yeah, that's fine," she says, and she gets the guy up in a fireman's carry. She takes she rolls up her sleeve a little bit, and she's got a couple of tick marks, and some of them are crossed through. And she looks you in the eye, puts another mark on her arm, and says,
"Oh, they're good.
But no, Spur's coming for you," she says. And yeah, she talks about herself in the third person, and she...
And now we're mortal enemies.
Now you're mortal enemies.
I mean, it's one thing to talk about yourself in the third person, but really use a nickname in the third person? Come on.
That's just rude. That's not something Shale would do.
Just tasteless. Yeah, let's see if this joint serves drinks.
Well, the bartender is a little out of commission right now. I'll say you turn the corner, you come in, and you see like this swirl of ectoplasm behind the bar, and the barkeep, the unearthly howl of a human and ghost voice overlapped with each other. And then you see your Whisper and this other rather whispery looking individual who's like gotten on like a gas mask and then pulls that down, shows a little vial, and all right, we'll go to the incinerators.
Ooh.
Can I find out from the Whisper exactly who employed them? Because we're working on an assumption about the Dwimmer sisters.
Absolutely, yeah. So there's So there's two things. Yes, there's people are the matron has come down at this point and says, "Well, you got rid of the ghost, and you didn't kill anyone. I'll serve you some drinks, but you have to pay for them."
Hey, we're building up word of mouth for your bar here.
No, you are not. Hard to build up word of mouth when one of the slobs has to get their mouth sewn shut. So, yes, you have the Whisper that you can talk to. It was still unnamed. Oh, wait,
yes,
no.
so-
I did name her.
Yeah, I can't remember what was the.
Marcia. And you also have the dog that you've got to convince to come back with you.
Which I'm hugging at the moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dogs don't actually like being hugged. Did you know that? It's weird.
Do they not? Oh, I guess they
Tell
hug
it-
you. You don't hug them.
They're kind of like, the dog's like leaning out of your grasp.
why are you tackling me?
What have I done wrong? So anyway, did you want to go to convincing the Doge first, or did you want to talk to the Whisper?
I think we need to get the dog tied down, don't we? If it takes all three of us to put a rope on it.
And somehow Marcia managed to do it just by herself. Well, for us, the three of us have to like.
Does Marsha have the dog on a lead?
No.
Interesting. Awkward.
Hmm.
I know.
I see you have designs on my new pooch.
That goes without saying. That dog belongs to a friend of ours.
I know, she says, but he was hardly being utilized to his full extent while watching some bar in the safe part of town.
Yes. But
Plus,
you
I
don't
got
want
good
to...
word that he was humping some of the clients, and so Roland was gonna. You can't really let a you can't really let a dog with this sort of spectacular abilities go without siring a few offspring. You know? Come on.
I'll explain all that to Roland. We'll speak for the dog's bollocks. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. But
That's a phrase I didn't think I would hear.
try to use that phrase this week.
You could have sworn the dog's bollocks was over on the other side of town.
Yeah. It's where people go after they've spent their money on the first blast.
That's right.
So, I don't want this to turn nasty again. We came to a reasonable agreement over Nyrix. I'm sure this doesn't have to come to ghosts at dawn.
And let me, by the way, she says, she lifts her gun up gingerly from the bar and pulls the round out of it, pockets that, and puts the pistol back. Well, as long as he gets a chance to, as long as this line doesn't die, I'm more okay with that. But
You can take my word for that.
But, she says, this dog is still valuable. And it does listen to me. He does listen to me. Come on, Ginger. The dog goes over.
Yeah. Cass is just standing there.
You see,
Just standing there.
she says, I was an apprentice in training this dog. So, he knows me. But I can command him to go back with you. For a price.
Can we just
Okay.
get Roland a different dog?
No, well, that's a very good point. We could just buy a different dog.
Because
That might be
honestly,
cheaper.
yeah, honestly, this kid is good and much cooler than Roland, to be honest.
And
Ouch.
and Castor too doesn't know what the dog looked like.
That's an interesting point.
Oh, that's funny. I will say this. This person would likely know where the Did you also want to either figure out?
Yeah, I
What's
think
up with
we'll
those
let the dog
weapons?
slide. I think Castor's come up with a much simpler solution to the dog issue.
All right.
So yeah, this is about her employer or employers.
So you all huddle in. Is Shale okay with this? Just finding a different dog.
Not an animal lover, me. Whatever you want to do about that. It seems like Casta's problem to me anyway.
Right. Awesome. I will note that you have let Casta 2 down again.
No. We will demonstrate the recovery of a dog.
That doesn't really work.
So if Casta knows what this dog looks like, then why don't we put Casta in touch with new friend Marcia and let it be?
Let them two work it out?
Yeah, let that be other Casta's problem.
Yes. We rescued the dog, and we left it with a friend called Marcia.
Look at it this way. Roland didn't mention the dog to us even once. I think on the hierarchy of who gives a shit about Ginger the dog, Roland's not at the top of the list. So,
and there's no question Marcia is going to look after this dog much better than Roland would.
Love it.
Has already not gotten it stolen. Look at that.
Yeah, she managed to not let the dog through her fingers. Already has one up on Roland. So she says, all right, what do you want to know? Buy me some drinks, hand me some coin, and we can talk.
It is simply, we want to know who employed you to reference Roland and why.
On your mic.
Your mic just went hotter than the sun.
Oh, sorry. Hang on.
Holy shit, I was really slow on the draw there for reading his mic.
Okay, shall I try that? Gee whiz. Hang on. How do I...
Oh, that was a lot.
Are you in like stadium rock mode or something?
Can you unplug it and plug it back in? I don't know how mics work.
Yeah, it's suddenly picking up a lot stronger, Alan. That's the issue. Or sounds like it anyway. Okay.
It's usually the standard thing to try.
When in doubt, boot it.
Yep.
Darn it. Train of thought broke completely just now.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Nah, fair.
What else are y'all playing this weekend?
Let me look at my RSVPs. Something in Drama System and then Upwind. Neither of which I've ever touched before.
I'm going to whisper.
Hey, you sound perfect.
You sound like a normal human again. Yay!
Okay. Sorry about that.
No worries.
What you were saying?
Yes, we wanted to know who'd employed her and why to rough up Roland.
All right. Cool. So let's do this is a sway roll. Whoever wants to lead that, you will be using coin to do this. So I guess you all should have like 2 coin. Just
Can
to
I use my vodka bottle?
you is it some primo shit?
Whatever Roland's setting, which
It's the best that Roland has.
I tell you what. We will say then in a flashback, your fingers like trace across some bottles, and you you pick the one that is renowned. Maybe not the best, but definitely has wonderful name recognition.
Bizarre question, but Costa, main Costa, are you particularly tall?
No.
I'm picturing you like having to reach above your head to get to the top shelf shit, you know?
Oh yeah.
Dawned on me
fast. Oh no, this was in a different spot. This was in the they
behind the bar shit. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Your fingers went rail. Oh, hello.
Yeah. No, I've cased this joint before.
Oh.
Yes. So yeah, that is perfectly good. So you still only have the 1 sway. It's a controlled situation. We'll say great effect. Now that you have the alcohol.
Can this be like a group action so we all roll?
It can. Everybody will roll with sway. As if you do not have a dot in it, we'll roll 2 dice and take the lower.
Maybe not that thing.
And then what happens? Then what happens is they can also do a flashback right now and say that they do have sway.
Yeah, because I don't want to take away.
Or you can do a flashback and bump your sway up. Because it seems like you're a lot more talky.
Yeah.
But that could just be our scenarios.
Say, River, would it be legit for we helpers to flashback a point of consort instead of sway?
What is consort?
There's a lot of overlap from what I remember.
You know what? Yeah, consort would work. It doesn't necessarily help anybody.
Consort is to socialize with friends and contacts.
Yeah, so if you do, you could help with consort if you want. You can flash back to get your dot of consort. Y'all still have at least 2 more bumps that you can bring up.
Yeah, because I see myself as not all that great a persuader schmoozer, but pretty good drinking partner. So yeah, I'll help keep the vodka flowing, do shots whenever it's my turn, and that's how I contribute.
All right, so
it doesn't have to be then a group action. You could just be assisting my role.
Yeah. So you take a stress for helping.
Cool.
And
I guess since it's Vesper doing the talking.
I thought Casta, you were driving this for some reason.
I pulled out a bottle of vodka. Somehow I became the driver.
That's right. Because you were the one plying with alcohol. You were doing the sway because it's driving or whatever. So you have the position. Did you want to bump up your sway? Or nah?
No, I want to save that in case once we go fight the final boss, I might need something to fight with.
So you have 2 dice. You have your sway, and you have the help from Shale.
What if I offer to show her how the induction wheel works?
Is that another assist? Can you have more than one assist?
That's the question.
I would say that you could do a group roll, and then we take the highest, and then Casta suffers the effects of the lowest roll. And so you can use. So yeah, Vestine can use a tune. So like this is going to take a few like hours of carousing and talking and drinking and sharing some stuff. And the other side effect of this is it really bonds Marcia as a contact to you, so that's good.
Okay.
So I want everyone to roll. So Vestine, you're back to just Casta, you're back to just the one die with sway. Shale, you're going to roll your consorts, and Vestine, you're going to roll your attune, because you're all you're all trying to make friendly.
Okay.
In your different ways. We'll take the highest of all of those, and then Casta will suffer consequences proportionate to the lowest of them.
Okay, so I've got 2 dots in a tune, so let's see what that gives me.
Oh no!
Yeah, so we need to leave all the dice on the table here, huh? Okay.
So this is awesome for you, Casta.
Oh, come on. Oh, because I didn't even... There we go. Oh.
A 1 and a 2.
And
wait, really?
Just do a 3.
Come on. All right. No, I have to roll.
Yeah, but
I still have to roll this way.
yeah, you just need to roll a 1, and then another 1 from.
Oh, do I roll 2 dice?
No, you just roll 1.
Can I already have enough stress. I don't know if I want to push myself.
Would you like a devil's bargain?
Just resist the consequence, man. It'll be all right.
It'll be fine.
Actually, I don't. Why should I care about XP? This is a one shot. All right, let me hear the bargain.
Well, you've already rolled.
I've not.
So.
They have rolled. Oh, okay. All right. That's fine.
But there is something else we can do. So don't worry. We'll come back to it. I want to see that.
That one-way roll.
Was it Corral's consort roll from you, Shale?
Oh.
Because you were all helping. It was a group.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like my little flashback is that so again, back to my like prize fighter days. Mm-hmm. After beating the living tar out of a good old buddy of mine, right? We both go to the same bar to like bind up our cuts and drink. And without actually like talking shit or turning it into a competition, I managed to drink him under the table just by steadily pouring, taking my shots in turn, and just
all right,
flowing.
Sounds good.
Of course, that doesn't serve me so well here because apparently Marcia can hold her liquor.
What was the roll?
My roll was a 3.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, best I could do. Sorry.
So,
yeah, I'm down up to 4 stress.
So, the consequence then, because I want you guys to proceed. Oh, hey, sorry, actually. So now we get to do a one last job thing here. If you look and you see that there is there's a thing for this. You can declare somebody rubbish at something. For instance, sway. You are rubbish at sway. You will still succeed in the roll. We will deal with the consequences. But now all effects that Casta does with sway are reduced. Casta, so somebody else has to do it, but this is available, and you have to dress them down in character.
Is this more of a during thing or an after thing?
This is during the whole thing, like when it's clear that she's not going to give up this information.
So I have to roll sway first.
No, you already rolled sway.
I have not rolled.
You did.
Really?
You did the group roll.
Oh well.
That was done with Sway.
All right. Well,
So there's
I
the
thought,
group roll. Everybody helped. The consequences and failure are on your head, Casta. So since you were the one leading the roll, you can your skill would be the one that's declared rubbish.
okay.
Savvy?
Yeah.
But somebody
okay.
has to actually say it and do the and sort of like
Okay.
jag you in character.
Huh. Okay.
Oh, Jesus, Castor. You have never been good at this.
Better what? Drinking? I can put down whatever you want.
No. You're very good at drinking, but you never are convincing. Why did we let him try again, Shell?
Nobody becomes a bounty hunter out of social aptitude.
No.
No, see. No. See. See. Now, see
And
here.
Marsha's laughing at this, of course, now.
That's
Now,
right, because we're paying no attention to her at all at this point.
No, I'm apologizing for my friend.
So go ahead, Casta. How do you defend your honor here?
I think.
Castor, you know you got nowhere to go on this one. You know, wow.
About to go to. I have my lovely friends here for putting me in a position that they say that I'm not suited for. Which begs me to wonder why I was even in a position in the first place. I thought, Marsha, you should learn something out. Find friends who look out for you.
Yeah, we are looking out for you, Castor. We're trying to stop this happening again. Sometimes your oldest friends are the only people who can tell you the truth.
It only took you a bloody few decades.
So Marsha, this person who's like half your age is laughing her head off, and she goes, "All right. Now that, by the way, the consequence is you all are thoroughly drunk."
Does this qualify as? Is Casta indulging their vice here?
Yes, you would. If you are drinking, you do get to burn off. As your vice, you do get to burn off some stress. But I will say that
if I overindulge,
all of you are going to take one harm drunk, and that means you're either going to have to wait for the next thing until you burn that off, or sleep it off, or something like that.
Yeah,
or,
are we technically in downtime?
Yeah, I guess the boundaries are a little unclear.
We've done some of our best work drunk.
Yeah, so you will all be drunk. That's the consequence.
Okay.
Now, if somebody wants to resist that and explain how they resist that, like say using resolve to limit people's input, how much they drink, or say, you know what, I'm going to do prowess. I'm just going to drink harder than my buddies and take the drinks from them and just take that burden on myself. Then you can do that to make everybody not drunk. Or maybe you can be like, hey guys, we're still on the job. We need to think ahead and use insight. So you can resist this. Any one of you can resist it because you're all getting the consequences.
All right.
Just because that seems what's fictionally appropriate.
So just remind me. So I've got 2 dots in a tune. So that's 2 dots in resolve.
No, it's only the first column counts.
Yeah.
It's
So
easy.
you have 1 insight, 1 resolve, and nothing in prowess.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas Costa here has 2 in resolve and 2 in insight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Still no problem.
It would be ironic at this point if 2 of us end up absolutely rat-faced and Castor comes out of this smelling of roses. But go for it.
Downright beautiful.
All
right. So you're doing resolve then to keep your head in the game.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see how much stress I get. I get no stress.
Oh, brilliant.
Booyah.
So, so tell you what, you resisted it for everyone. Everybody clear your drunk.
Yes.
You were able to keep the alcohol from overflowing, and so yeah, you do. You get a little drunk, but you let it. You know, you smartly know when to start winding things down, and you're able to still be pretty clear-headed. Now for the information. So, eventually Marcia says, you know, the guy who called this hit had an interesting symbol that he wore. And his memory's a bit hazy, but I think it's a symbol you recognize, that you'll recognize, she says, and she draws it, shows it to you, and it's the symbol of your old gang. But it's
No, they didn't.
down the middle. The guy went by the name of Greaser. And you all remember that name as your team's leech. What happened to make Greaser leave the gang and be under bad circumstances? Wow, what in the world is
It's
that
a
thinking?
printer.
Okay. Printers, man. Or I can do
I mean, I definitely still have a little beef with Greaser because he fixed my hand like this. I mean, that wasn't entirely my fault. He fixed it right the previous time.
He wasn't reliable. He
Hmm.
wasn't consistent. And he became a risk. What really pisses me off is that he's using our symbol.
oh, with the slash through it.
Oh, what a dork. What an absolute dork. Well, it wasn't professional. Wanted to be a supervillain. A lot of petty grievances all building up.
That's not a look you really want in a like unlicensed doctor. Now that you mention it.
So this leech is a saboteur technician, not
Oh,
necessarily a doctor. I can see now why there would be a confusion there. Good work, writers.
Yeah,
Come on, John Harper.
game does contain imperfections. So he was our like
Saboteur and
gadget
explosives.
okay, yeah, that's still not loving the supervillain ambition in that context.
Then I have a proposal for you. Then you were supposed to retrieve something, and he saw an opportunity to get out with Thing, and drop the building on you.
Oh,
Wow.
can't believe I forgot about that.
The line you
Freaking star right
distinctly
here.
remember when he ran away, he said, "Sorry, I can't have them following us," and he hits it, and you were all caught in the blast, and you'll spend a good amount of time in the clink for that too.
Worst head wound I ever had too.
I know exactly what I'm going to say to him when we put him down.
Is it going to be a bullet to the head? Is this, the way you phrased it, it sounds like a bullet to the head, says Marsha.
Yeah, I mean, that was a long time ago, but now he's messed up where we drink.
Okay, yeah. With that, I flip my shot glass over and stand up from the table.
Just
Gentlemen.
about.
take care, she says, and watch out. His those weapons he uses are just the worst.
Oh, he is just the worst.
When somebody failed him, took the Geist file, and turns out that the Geist file rifle turns out it can suck as well as it blows. Rip the soul out of the poor bastard.
I reach under my shirt collar for my Spirit Bane charm, and I'm like, okay, good enough then.
Good luck, boys, girls. Good luck, strangers, she says.
Marshall, you're a stand-up lady.
The things you do for a good payday, she says, and scratches the dog's head.
Okay.
So that takes care of the goons. You know a little bit about the tech now, that it can pull as well as shoot. Do you want to try to find a way to disable this tech?
I have an idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's where Compel was coming from. You can attune to the ghost field to force a nearby spirit to appear before you and obey a command you give it. Given that this is driven by spirits in a spirit bottle, presumably, could I command a spirit not to enter the gun with Compel?
So for that, you would need a sample of the weapon to test on.
Okay.
You can find spirits just about anywhere. So
no, well, I'm just thinking, if this channels spirits, it's whether I can put a bung in the barrel.
So to be clear, what I'm saying is, I'm saying that your op for disabling their tech would be to steal a sample of this weapon,
right,
so that you can be prepared to counteract it. Or you can go on with your theory, your hypothesis, without testing it, and just eschew that part of it. Because what could go wrong?
Essence of risky position.
We are running up on an hour left of game time, so I'd want to say do a pretty like just a real quick, like maybe even like a 2-segment clock on it to get the pistol.
Yeah,
you're breaking up a bit, River.
Oh, sorry. To just say, we do an engagement roll, and you say who you want to steal it from. To do this, you could steal it from the Lamp Blacks, who probably terribly well secured, or from the Dimmer sisters, both of them, and then we'll fast forward to after the project is done, and you'll have the information.
So okay, Vestine. So if I'm understanding this right, Greaser worked with the Dimmer sisters to develop this gun, then went through the Lamp Blacks to hire those idiots who are unconscious back there. And knowing Greaser, he probably didn't have enough money to make a lot of these guns. He probably didn't make it very safe. So yeah, we could steal it and try to muck with him. Or Costover here is a pretty good shot. We could just try to pop that little ghost canister thing from afar.
Yeah.
Or,
no, I think you're right.
Another thing that occurred to me, if this thing can take up ghosts, what if we tried to poison the well, get it to take up a bad ghost or too much ghost? Is that a thing?
How much is too much?
You're talking about like demon stuff, says Marsha.
Yeah.
One of these little, you know, anything that stores a ghost or contains a ghost, that's kind of limited to, you know, how powerful that ghost is. Yeah, you can. It's possible to bite off more than you can chew there. But
I don't think there's any advantage, because you're right. These stealing a gun will not necessarily help us. So I think you're right. I don't think we need to waste our time with that. We just need, when the time comes, if circumstances merit it, then I'll have a pop at him. You know?
All right. So you are going to forgo disabling the tech, and you will push on. So how are you going to approach the lamp blacks?
Just
because that's
explain to me. Fine. Okay. Right. Do we have any history with lamp blacks, I wonder?
Not too much, no. Well, that's a good point. You could. We could do a little bit of the faction setup and say that you had some good dealings with them in the past. And that they might let you might just hand this loose cannon over to you. So that would forego a lot of the op. Then you would just be doing a social thing, basically.
Yeah, the trouble is none of us are very good at anything vaguely social, are we?
I'm scary.
Yes. Your idea of convincing the lamp blacks to just go along with this is to beat them with a pulp. Beat them to a pulp, which is what we're trying to avoid having to do.
I'm doing you the courtesy of letting you know that I want to come in here and wreck your shit if you don't let me just come in.
Threat.
We can tell them that Greaser is a fuck up and a cowardly little SOB who drop a building on you if it was convenient. We can convince him that he's more trouble. He's not worth the trouble of keeping.
Who's running the Lamplacks these days? But Baz So Baz, right?
Yeah. Yeah, whoever it is in the book.
Yeah.
I know.
If memory serves, Baz is not an idiot. You know, he can judge a character. He probably already knows Greaser's a moron.
Also, he loves whiskey. He loves whiskey.
Good point. Again, why you would steal vodka is just beyond me, but it is what it is.
I have my reason. I have an idea in canon why. I have my own GM's fanon about this.
Okay.
That, you know, if you get horribly from something and you end up with just the worst hangover, your body just goes, "Oh, I cannot deal with this." Whenever you encounter it again, I want to say that happened to Casta with whiskey. It was like, nope, can't deal with the smell of any aged and any brown liquors at all.
Okay, kind of like regular people in tequila.
Right. You get another thing wrong with this world: no agave plants.
Okay, we're just putting this off now, aren't we?
So yeah, we are. So the proposal I have is to do it's basically just social. You'll walk in there with a bribe for Baz and say, "Hey, let me have a whack at your lieutenant because he's unstable and he's an asshole.
Hmm.
And
One
if
of
the
which is
social
your
doesn't
problem, the
work,
other which is our problem.
Wait, actually, that's not that horrible an idea. Excuse my phrasing. So we've got the symbol thing, which is physical proof that he's doing this
a
to
loose
settle a
cannon.
beef with us, right? To
Right.
whatever extent he's working for Basso and the Lampblacks, he's really just using them to do his own shit.
Right.
And we can prove that.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
That's
then
good.
you have that would be plus a die for the engagement. So you have an engagement. You have a plus. I'm going to say that there's no way your target would expect you to take this route, given your well-documented social abilities. So that would be 3 dice for the engagement. Yeah, I went there.
Wow. Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a horrible place to start from.
No, that's a good one.
It sounds good, and I'm honestly hard pressed to think of excuses to mess with you with this.
Ooh. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean it's that or
Then we'll take it. We'll take it.
Who's
Right, yeah, I mean-
who's leading the operation then? I believe the one who was white knuckled about this was Shale. So why don't you roll us for the engagement?
Okay. So we're standing at 3 dice for the engagement pool.
Yeah, I lined up the blue ones.
Oh,
for
all right.
you.
Oh, wow. I need to reload more often. Doop, doop, doop. The blue ones. Boom. Oh no,
Yes.
that was weird.
Headshot.
2
Okay,
different rolls go through there.
it's fine. The final one has a 6.
Yeah, not complaining.
So you're able to get the whiskey. We'll say that's easy. You can just get that from Roland. Because he's a bottle of whiskey, small price to pay for not having your leg shot off. You're able to get an audience with Boz because you have some standing. I'm going to say the condition for that is that you come in lightly loaded, and he wants you to jump in to get rid of this guy immediately. He sees this, he goes, says, all my guys, they have side projects and stuff like that. I don't tend to look too closely at it, but yeah, I can't have this sort of heat coming back on me and mine. So yeah, fuck them. I'll call him down to the big floor. Let you have your fun with him. He turns over to like an intercom system, and there's this crack of Greaser. Want to talk about your activities, huh? Get down here. And so you'll be lying in wait. Well, not lying in wait. He probably knows something's up. So there's a few of his loyal lackeys that come through the door first. Baz is since fucked off. And where are all of you in this scenario? This is like a big warehouse sort of thing. There's some catwalks and stuff.
Well, Castor, find a place where you can kill him from.
Yeah, I'm at like an awning at the top with a fine long rifle.
Alrighty then.
Oh yeah, so it was Vestine and me meeting with the boss. How did Costa get there? Oops.
So
sorry.
No, I mean, Costa, the boss would have given you a chance. We're gonna take like 4 or 5 minutes to get here, so that's the time you got, kids.
Shale, do you want to just stand behind the door?
I was thinking that. but it occurs to me we're not going to want to engage him close in until we've dealt with the rifle.
Well, I see you as a kind of fallback, really.
True.
Or dealing with the fallout from his men.
Right. So we'll say that we can just say then that, because I want to try to push this forward, that you can elect to be further up. So sort of laying in wait. This would mean that Vestine,
I'm the bait.
You are the bait.
Yeah. Go with that.
So Greaser comes in, the goons fan out and are looking around, and like one of them is, you can smell the char on this one guy. Shell, he's so close to you.
How many goons?
We'll say 4 goons plus Spur.
Oh.
Oh, you didn't.
Well done.
Of course
respect.
I did.
Ah.
This is a one shot. I can't have dangling connections.
Chekhov's enemy.
So they're walking towards me across the room, presumably.
Yeah, and so the four goons, they fan out. Spur sort of smiles at you and is the point of contact, and Greaser is a little bit further back, and sort of like rolls his shoulders and takes off his jacket, revealing like some armored files and things like that, and this weird sort of like carbine across his back. He is not taken out yet.
Okay. I'm waiting. I am the bait. I am the goat tethered.
So Spur chuckles, says, "What do you want here, old man?"
A conversation with a very old friend. How you doing, Greta? Long time no fall building on.
You're still mad at about that, huh? He says, "Seems kind of pointless, you know."
We go back a long way, Greta. If I can't have a little joke with you, who can?
That's fair, he says.
I'm still waiting.
I guess you're here. I guess you want to talk about me wrecking your favorite drinking hole.
I do. That is indeed what I want to talk about. And I'm just curious. Why? You know, the building wasn't enough.
Well, you see, Roland has been a pusher for some of my product, all right? But a lot of it went up his nose. You know, to show him what happens.
So this isn't about
how that works.
This isn't about us.
Well, I can see why you would think that.
Do I think he's telling the truth?
It's a good question.
And I'm not sure. Is that study or is that?
Sure. Give me a study roll.
So that's 2 dots.
Yes.
So
you are inherently in a risky situation.
Mm-hmm.
The effect I'm going to say is low, because this is going to be a small amount of information that you're going to get. You're basically, unless you get like a crit, you're basically just going to get his surface feelings. Yeah, because you're not. But if you want, you can stress and bump it up.
Yeah, I'll take a stress.
All right,
because I want to know exactly why I want him dead.
All right, so that would be 3 dice for you.
Okay, hang on. Where's it gone? Over here. Okay, so that's 3d6.
And would you like a devil's bargain?
Oh, sorry, I've already rolled the dice.
Okay.
Oh, except there are 5 dice there, not 3. I guess I didn't delete some. Do they come up in an order, or is it, oh no, they do. I'll delete those and
Yeah,
do it
just
again.
delete them. Yeah, I
Sorry.
prefer to try to just re-roll dice when
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm so sorry.
I'll take that though.
Nice.
Yes.
I muted you, Joey, just in case. So yes, a 6. So you
Is it
are able-
personal or is it business?
The answer is yes. He
Is
does have
it
a business. So again, I'll give you the
Okay.
information. He definitely does have a beef with Roland about, and that's definitely business. But he just couldn't resist fucking with you one more time. And you know that he's going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
He's probably going to pick people that are in your way to just make your lives a little bit more difficult. You know, get your favorite contact hooked on powder. You know, just he won't even. The thing is that he thinks he's telling the truth. He thinks this isn't about the bad blood between you, and he is fooling himself.
Yeah, it all goes back to that. And oh, Grisa, I was comfortably retired, and you had to bring this to my door. I'm still waiting to hear the sound of a rifle shot.
Right on.
Yeah. Is Greaser's face open?
Yeah, so his
Not-
front is open, but the rifle is the rifle and the vials are behind him.
I just need to shoot him in the face.
Yeah,
Yes.
Interesting.
okay. So this is controlled for you because you have the jump on him. This will be for great effect because again, you have the jump on him and you have that very nice, very high power weapon.
Would this be a finesse? Is it
This is, I believe it's hunt.
okay. Why? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong. I was looking at. Why do I not have hunt? Oh wait, no. Looking at the wrong.
Yeah.
There we go.
How not have a hunt?
This is very confused.
We invited the wrong man to the party.
You're getting real rusty in your old age there, Costa.
Or we invited
Okay.
the sound. What? Okay. Sorry.
Okay, and I'm willing to push myself for this for another die.
All right. And you want to you can bump it up to 3 by burning your flashback, but you won't maybe have necessarily the leverage you would to resist stuff later.
Yeah, the thing is, if I fail, can someone declared me rubbish? Can the other
Yep.
person make me?
So what you would do is well, no, you're just rolling this as is, unless you can think of unless you want to take a devil's bargain.
No, I think I'll push myself.
You can, I swear you can do both, but I could
No,
be
it's right here in the character sheet. It says or.
or
Yeah.
Yeah,
or.
it does. Yeah,
Hmm.
it does. Sad but true.
okay. All right, so that is 3 dice.
Yes. If this fails, this is gonna be very embarrassing.
It's going
Well,
to be hilarious.
Oh, thank God.
we're due for some failure. It's been too easy so
Well-
far.
Well, there's been no failure because it's a 5 and a 5 and a 6.
Boom.
Yeah.
Edith. Wait, 556? I'm okay. I gotta reload
Yeah.
more often.
So that's going to clear 2 off the track. He's going to be injured. But of course, it seems like he knew that something was going to go wrong here because he is wearing armor. So you knock him square on his ass. And his goons, a couple of them have pistols and they start aiming up to where the shot likely came from. And so now we're in the shit.
That gives me time to take cover, presumably.
Yes, because that would get you away from the knife fighter, which is definitely a very bad matchup for you.
Yes.
I would say... What would this even be?
To roll to like get the heck out?
Yeah.
Prowl, if nothing else.
Prowl?
Yeah, I want to say that would be Prowl then.
To be honest, it doesn't matter which of those it is. Things are not going to be any better.
You've still got a couple more that you can flashbacks you can burn.
No. Can I flashback to get a special ability or just to get some bonuses?
Just to get the dice.
Okay.
You have to roll in a desperate situation, which incidentally this is, to get a special ability.
Because this would be a really good time to have Tempest on hand. Because I could really do with unleashing a stroke of lightning.
Love it.
Okay. Because this does remind me of the occasion when I was first tested as a Whisper. And that was a very similar circumstance where it was a lot of big folk and me, and I didn't know I could do it until the stress of that adrenaline surge, and I zapped them.
All right. So you've taken this from a desperate situation.
I am.
And you got your ability, so that takes it, I'm going to say, still desperate, but now you have a very good fictional opportunity to have some good effect here. Well, I think it's just take stress and you do it. So I'll say that covers your escape.
Okay.
I still kind of want to have you roll something, but whatever. Let's just keep moving.
Yeah.
So, how much stress do you want to take to dump into this?
I'm prepared to put 2 stress into that, I think, because I do not want to face that knife fighter before Shale comes to my rescue.
Okay, so I'll say what the effect of that is. It'll mark 1 on her clock, and it'll get you out of immediate danger with her.
And how many stress do I need to take?
That's 2.
Or don't I? 2. Okay.
Yeah, so you took 2, 1 for... So you spend it for 2 effects. I'll say 1 is to get her off of your case, and the other part is to actually do some damage to her. So she's kind of blinded a bit, and she sort of staggers back, and this is the opening for Shale.
Who has brought a garrote with him? Thank you very much.
Oh, you're gonna come up behind.
Oh yeah,
Spur and
behind Spur. Yeah, and
love it.
Take her out of the fight. In fact, if this works worth a damn, I'm going to sort of pivot her around, like kick out her knees, such that she's the human shield between me and Greaser.
Love it. Okay, so this is risky. You have to, zip by one of the goons to do this. It will have great effect because this is fucking amazing. So
can I assist?
If you want to, how would you assist?
I see that Shale has beef with the knife lady. Probably told us in the middle of all the drinking. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna provide covering fire.
Yeah.
Keep mooks off his back.
Yeah, I mean the best way to probably for this cover fire is actually to keep Greaser suppressed for the moment.
Because I mean he's got the biggest gun.
Yeah, he's currently rolled back to his feet and is running for cover. But if you want to keep his head down for a bit, bang, bang, click, bang. Yeah.
And that ability lets me quickly reload. So.
Right.
Oh, nice.
I also imagine that your carbine has what is it called? An under the barrel magazine and a lever action like a Winchester. Yeah. But that's just, hey, it's a fine it's a fine, large weapon.
Yeah.
Never ceases to amaze me how much gamers know about firearms. I think I know a lot. Continually, I learn things.
Oh, I also just have a bit of a special nostalgia for what we would consider weird firearms nowadays.
Okay. I'll take that stress to give an extra die.
Right. So that gives us. So you are using. Is this skirmish or prowl?
Yeah, honestly, I
think it's ambush.
Yeah, because I feel like I've been having to sort of creep my way around. Like I was planning to take out Greaser until I saw that Spur was here, so I had to like reposition while y'all were yapping.
Yeah, and okay, so that's prowl. So that's 1. You get another one for the bonus.
Okay.
You can push yourself or accept a devil's bargain.
Was there +1 from each of us? Because she's blinded from my lightning flash.
That's what's allowing this to have great effect.
Yeah, and I think mechanically all the helpers in the universe can only ever give you 1 die for help.
Yeah, and only 1 person can assist.
Right. And mechanically speaking.
Yeah, unless it becomes a group action. Like 1 person can help multiple people, it becomes a group action.
What your temp has done is set the position in effect.
Not that I'm not grateful. Let me be clear.
What you've done is turn this into, like, probably going to be a knockdown drag out fight to perhaps instant KO, or depending on Shale's disposition, instant death.
Speaking of which, what is this devil's bargain?
So I think that the devil's bargain is that Greaser, while you're all focusing on this, he's going to get a chance to reposition and start laying down fire on you guys with that fancy-ass gun of his.
Super not okay with that. I will take the stress.
Yes!
Yeah. If nobody takes trauma by the end of this, somebody's done something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You have stress to burn. You'll be fine.
I do. I am conservative with that stuff.
Also, do you count as a small gang when you're facing?
For purposes of whooping chumps' asses, yes, I do.
It just says in close combat.
So he gets the benefit of the rule of single ninja, and in group combat, he counts as a bunch of ninjas. But you don't want to count on being a bunch of ninjas in combat against a single foe, because the law of inverse ninja is a real thing.
Yeah, the conversation law of ninjutsu,
The problem is, because I remain 1 person the whole time, you start to get into these weird divide by 0 errors. The ratio stops working right.
Right. All right. So yes, she staggers back. Fucking wizards! And then you get to come in with the Garrett.
Oh yes, right on that last syllable, just slightly cutting off her last syllable.
So give me the roll. That is 3 dice, if I'm counting correctly.
That's what I thought too. So here goes. 3 new die. Ooh, that didn't go as well as.
All right, so you'll get a complication. Awesome. As per the agreement of the rules, I will not use what I had set for the devil's bargain as the consequence, because that's shitty.
Tricky.
I will say this. You're able to get in on her. You're able to have great effect. You're able to get her off her feet. However, what's happening now is some of the goons are coming in, and they are getting free hits.
So we got to get into this quickly and move on.
So that's going to be 2 harm coming your way.
Ooh, ouch. I would like to resist, because that's harm.
It's a lot of harm.
I will convert it to stress by so being the hardcore bruiser that I am, I'm just gonna gut it out, right? Like I'm gonna sort of hunch myself over her and just take all the shots.
Tighten your muscles, like
just
position yourself so they can't get to your vitals, and just take the blows.
And just
Love it.
turtle up. All right.
All
So
right.
I'd like to resist with resolve, if I may.
All right. So take 2 dice and let him loose.
All right. If it's okay, I'm just going to clear the board and
Yeah, go for it. You do you.
I just find it less confusing. And yes!
Awesome. So you're dancing around them. They hit spur sometimes. Like it's a mess, but you're able to get through this just with some minor scuffs. Maybe somebody gets you just a little bit across the eye, and you get that like awesome like irritated blood vessel in your eye, which shows that you're living. You know,
Yeah.
This is the good shit right here. So that is 2 more ticks on Spur. She's technically in the fight still, but not a whole lot.
All right.
At this point, I want to say it is probably back around Casta. Your query has hidden, and you're going to have to change position to get a line on them, or you can start plugging mooks.
I think I'm going to thin the field.
Okay.
And, but then again, we have a small gang down there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll change position. Because I've shot that asshole and he's still.
You could also just plug Spur, and that would free up.
I'm not gonna take it away from
Shale.
He made that very certain while we were drinking last night.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna change position.
Yeah, the next action for you, Shale, is going to be pretty automatic. So it's going to be where do you want to go to take her out, because you've really got her on the ropes. So yes, you're repositioning to get a bead on our quarry here. Query. Can never pronounce that right.
It sounded right to me.
Yeah, quarry.
Yeah.
So do you want to? Would this be hunt then to track him through the warehouse?
Ooh.
Yes.
I need to take an instant break. Sorry. Too much coffee. Hang on.
It's all right. We can take a quick break. Okay.
There's a cliffhanger, or okay.
Sometimes these breaks have to be instant. It is what it is.
Yeah, no. Sometimes just builds
What you get for drinking instant coffee? Oh! No, I don't think. I think Alan's a classier guy than that.
I'm pretty sure that doesn't work that way.
All right.
If it was properly instant, there would have been a.
All right. So you're hunting him.
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes to dissolve, but once you drink it, anyway.
So, I don't think this is something you can get help on.
No.
I do have an interesting proposition for you.
Let's hear it.
So, there's a lot of broken sight lines from where you are. You probably have a better chance tracking him on the ground, but that makes your fictional positioning a little worse moving forward.
I'll take it.
Awesome.
Why not?
Yes.
Right. So that's 3d6. And thank God, that's a critical.
Awesome. So in my mind, you drop down from the rafter. I know, this is awesome. In my mind, you drop down from the rafters like onto some boxes, and you're able to scuff around, and you're able. So you have made yourself visible. You're no longer hidden, so the goons do get a chance to hit you at some point. But you have found him, and you have the drop on him. So
I'm not gonna let him monologue. I don't want to talk to him.
And because you have the drop on him, and he's got the carbine out, like looking for an opportunity to shoot, you get your pick of exactly how you want to do this. I will. So normally, what I would do at this point is I would pause with you, move to Alan, who is just back. So what happened, since you can't rewind the stream, is the hunt went extremely well, but he did take a good devil's bargain that he had to go out of cover. So now he's on top of some crates and he got a critical. So he's found Greaser. And then we jump to you, Alan.
Did I see where the shot came down?
Oh, there's no shot.
Do I know where Greaser is?
So you can tell where Greaser is because that's exactly where Costa is looking.
Fine.
And you know where Costa is. However, if you start moving to intercept, you're probably going to blow their positioning. Now there's a whole gaggle of goons that are eventually going to hit something solid on Shale that need to be dealt with.
They're still trying to.
I think I need to offer the goons a softer target. So I'll clamber up on a couple of boxes and throw whatever I can find at them. I want to draw them away from Shale and then run for it.
All right, yeah, so you've got, it'd be funny, lumps of coal.
Yes.
You're hucking lumps of coal at them to get their attention. What would that be?
I think it's I don't know how you judge whether they take the bait, but it's then finesse or prowl on my part to get away.
Right. That makes sense actually. You get their attention because you're pelting them with stuff, and now you have to cheese it. Love it.
Yeah. So neither prowl nor finesse are things I am any good at.
So describe to me a situation in which you cheesed it.
Okay. So I'm stood on a pile of coal, hurling stuff at them.
Yeah.
And then when 2 or 3 of them look my way and approach, I just run in the opposite direction. This is a big room, I think, wasn't it?
No, it's a pretty big room. No. To get your thing of, I want to say prowl.
It doesn't matter from my point of view.
No, but I'm saying you can get your dot in prowl to.
Oh, I see.
By explaining some sort of physical feat you've done in the past.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah. Well, I used to make money as a kid, knocking the local equivalent of coconuts off walls at a stall, and then that would entice other people to come in and try to hit the ones that were stuck to the shelf.
Ha ha! I love it. So you're showing some fine sort of.
That did require me to run away very often.
Yes, it did. Yeah, so we get a flashback of you doing that, and some people being like mad and turning at you, and you scramble over the coals. And so, give me your 1 die.
Okay, so
unless you would like to burn stress. Or
I'm prepared to burn some stress because
but don't you want to hear the devil's bargain?
Oh, okay.
The devil's bargain is this. That you're able to make some distance on them, but they have a nice trail that leads right to you.
Okay. Could the trail that leads them to me be the one on the ledge outside?
Hey, yeah.
Because I'm
that'll
thinking
be
of running
another-
for that open window.
Right. Yeah, you can still use it to set up to get the jump on them or do something like that.
Wow.
So yeah,
Okay, so if
that's
I
2 dice.
so that's 2 plus the one I've got, so that's 3. Am I right?
No. That's 2 dice.
No, 2.
Total.
2. Sorry. Okay, 2 dice. Here we jolly well. Oh, hang on. I need to. Oh, sorry. I need to clear them first.
Move those out of the way.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So if I just go with 2, yeah,
Take the risk. Roll to resist. It's okay.
a 3 and a 4.
Okay. So the most obvious thing that could happen here. Actually, no, I'm going to describe what's happening first. So one of the goons stays behind and is like really trying to help Spur out. Actually pulls out a knife to try to like get in at the garrote and stuff like that to break it. The other 3 take serious umbrage to this. One of them had a pistol out already and gets a shot off on you as you're scrambling away. So you're still gonna get distance on them. You're not going to be in immediate physical danger from this, but it's still going to be. I'm going to say because it was still a successful roll. It's going to be 1 harm. It grazes you.
Okay, that leaves me with 2, I think.
And
okay,
so
that's
would you like to resist that?
No, I think I'll take that and assume I get to that ledge on the side of the building.
Okay, so you are grazed then. That is your 1 harm. It sort of, blows a chunk of your jacket off of your back actually as you're like rolling away, and it stings like the dickens. You could also declare that you use some of your load and say that you're wearing a little bit of armor. That would also negate it.
I mean, I was thinking that I would have some blades. So we said we'd go in there light, didn't we? So
Yes.
if I could have 2 armor and a blade, that would be my 3, wouldn't it?
That would be your 3.
Fine, let's go for that.
Okay, you only need 1 armor.
Oh, sorry, I thought I had to take 2. Or is that not the case?
Oh, armor does cost 2 load, yes.
That's what I thought. I'm just looking at the sheet.
Oh, the base armor? I thought the base armor was only 1.
Well, what I'm looking at is 2 link for armor and 3 for heavy.
That sounds right, yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
all right. It works
fine,
for me.
that's fine.
So that's your 3 load then. Cool.
And the other one is a blade or 2.
Right.
Yeah.
All about it.
It's a whisper need, right?
Yeah, indeed.
Especially since you were the bait, it makes sense that you were wearing some armor.
Yeah. Well spotted.
Huh. No, I see what you're talking about now, River. Well, it's something we can deal with later.
I'm not super adept at navigating this system just yet.
Life goes on. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. Okay,
It's
so
fine.
Shale, you're garroting this poor fool.
Makes me feel a little guilty when he frames it that way.
Oh, sorry. You are garroting this upstart. Is that better or worse?
Yeah, thank you. But I understand there's now an additional knife involved in the equation.
Yeah, so somebody's trying to cut her free. This is somebody who's probably looks up to her, and is trying to break the garrote, since this is clear that they can't get you off of her.
Mm-hmm.
So, but my question to you is, do you keep pushing with the garrote and make her bleed out? Basically cut enough stuff in her neck that she will be fatally injured, or do you just hold at knocking her out?
Understood. Just to clarify, right now the other goobers are fully occupied with Vestine.
Yes, so 3 goons chasing Vestine and 1 trying to free Spur.
Understood. And does it look like so Leandro and River? Does it look like Costa, sort of calmly has Greaser dead to rights?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, so he's not, or rather, Costa is not a big part of the picture. Okay,
this is sort of going to happen simultaneously with your action.
Okay, so this is happening very fast. Honestly, my first thought, what is this idiot doing? You don't slice a garrote off of a friend because you're going to cut the friend.
Okay, so are you going to leave Spur knocked out then and just dress down this guy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Love it.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
so
This is another person we can seduce to our group.
Roll command. This is a desperate situation.
Fair.
Because you are kind of, but it will have standard effect.
Okay.
Now, since you're in a desperate situation,
Mm-hmm.
you can maybe mark another special ability.
I understand. I see what you did there.
Of course, no problem.
I'm trying to think what would appropriately, because I really want to disarm this guy. I want to just take the knife from him and just correct him verbally.
If you're dressing him down, he will count as 1 less. That will remove a tick from Greaser because it's Greaser and his gang.
Oh, understood. Now, what I mean is, like, it just in the fiction, like, which special ability best drives toward my just taking the knife from him and saying, "What are you thinking?"
Oh, that would be Savage. When you unleash physical violence, especially frightening, and you're commanding, you take +1 die. So this would.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, you're demonstrating that you're a complete badass, and you're letting his friend live.
Yes, I am going to release the garrote for this faux show.
All right, so that's 3 dice.
Okay.
And if you get a crit, that means you will go a long way to leaving where it's just you and just Greaser, and he's going to be in a pretty bad spot. So, do you want to push it? Do you want to do some stress? Take a devil's bargain?
I think I'll take my chances. All right, permission to
stress is easy come, easy go.
Okay.
With 20 minutes to play.
You're right.
All right, take 2 stress and get a 4th die.
Okay. All right. There. All right. Four dice. 4 dice. Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 dice.
Let's make them a new color.
That's what makes all this wheeling and dealing really fun.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
You got a 6. Yeah.
Wow. From a desperate.
So standard effect is that you'll mark a tick on the countdown. You got a 6. You don't suffer any of the bad situations, and he doesn't cut you or do anything like that in retaliation. And you dress him down. You leave him stripped bare.
If I may, he's coming at me as
he's like in there trying to get it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So like before he can react, my hands are off the garrote and slip to get him in a wrist lock, strip the knife, and I just, with the butt of the knife, I just conk him once and like, come on, you were going to kill her worse than I was. And then just maintaining the hold. And that's just where we'll leave that little moment.
Yeah, so he's completely taken out. If you'd gotten like a critical, he would have been like, "Oh, let's get out of here. They're not worth it."
Oh, wow. You can't see me like kicking my leg out here. Never mind.
It's fine.
Back up.
So now we're back to Costa. You have Greaser, who is been trying to get a beeline on Shale, because take out Shale, you guys are a lot less effective at ass kicking. And Greaser knows that's what's coming. So
and almighty ass kicking.
Yes. So you have a narrow opportunity to do this. I'm going to say the positioning is risky because there's a chance you'll get a shot off on Shale. But you do have great effect from your positioning, and he doesn't know your other great success shows that he's not going to notice you're there until it's too late. So do you want to take out the rifle? Do you want to take a hit on him? In the mechanics of the system, it's going to work the same way. But in the fiction, if you take out the rifle, that means he can't use it on you anymore.
Yeah. I kind of want to take the rifle out so that so that he's awake to suffer the almighty ass kicking.
And if you get a crit on this, you'll hit the vial instead of just knocking the weapon away.
There's this beautiful sort of U-shaped graph here where like a crit is hit the vial and Devil's Bargain is hit the vial.
That's true. But you have additional vials on him, which would be a very interesting consequence.
Yeah.
So yes.
Is that the bargain?
So I'm going to say yes. The Devil's Bargain is this. He has a bunch of other crap on him, and you will light something off on his person. And I may, if you get consequences from the roll, that could go super bad. Cool.
I think I'll take it. Let's
Love
make
it.
this interesting. That's 3d6.
Yep.
Come on, don't fail now. Yeah, I'll think. All right, there's 6. Okay.
Okay. So it works. You're able to get the shot in on him. It hits the rifle and it lets loose these balls, which go scattering through the place, and it's a smoke bomb. It's a cluster smoke bomb, and it's noxious as fuck. And the first person to get the whiff of like the smoke, you're like, oh, okay, that's cute, whatever. He's still going to be running. It's going to be obvious where he is. And then the first sniff of it hits you, and it burns like horseradish all up your nostrils, all down your throat. And
the scarf doesn't help, no?
And that's just the first whiff. But nobody's taking harm. Nobody's taking additional stress yet. This is just a messy complication because he's blocked line of sight, and he's got a chemical weapon between you and him. I will knock him down Did I say that was great? I said it was great effect, so that knocks him down another 2. There's just 1 bar left on him. If you're able to take out another goon or land another hit on him, then he will be neutralized and he will be completely at your mercy. So that takes us to Vestine.
Has one of the goons reached the window yet?
Sure.
Now, rules question: attune, channel electroplasmic energy. Can I play Doctor Strange here and knock him out the window as he leans out to see me?
Sure. I mean, I'm going to say that this is even a metal frame, so when he's like getting into it, it'll bridge between him, the frame, him, his hobnail boots, the platform, all the way to the ground. So yeah, you could discharge the shit out of him.
Okay, that would work nicely because I think I have 2 in attune. So nice. 2, and I think I have 1 stress left.
Yeah, so you can't.
No, I can't use 1.
I don't
I could
think
take a devil's bargain, though, couldn't I?
Take a devil's bargain. So, devil's bargain is the most obvious thing that doesn't really actually have a huge impact would be that you burn out your device, so it will need repair.
Okay. So is that that's 2 for the attune, 1 for the devil's bargain. So that's 3d6, yeah. Hang on. I've forgotten which color I am.
Fine. Just take the orange. There's 3 of them.
Okay.
Sorry, I moved them.
Okay. So.
Yeah. Besides, those orange ones are lucky.
Yeah.
Don't
hang on. What?
say that.
Yeah,
And then you'll hit reroll some.
sorry, where is reroll? I can't see it. Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!
I know,
Green
right?
in the very center.
Ah, yes, I got it now. Yes, here we
Confusing
go.
layout.
I'll
5,
take
4,
that.
and 4. Okay, so you are. So yeah, it's a success. That's going to take out his last thing. This scares the pants off of the other two, because he reaches in. It's like, I'm going to get that fucker, and he's got a knife and stuff like that. And actually, what happens is his glove hits the frame first, and there's a little bit of smoke. Then his knife hits it, and there is this pow at the knife, pow at his hand, pow at his foot, and he drops into a screaming, writhing mess. And his two buddies are like, "Nope, fuck this," and they're out of there.
Well.
You, on the other hand, you're holding the device. It blew out. Standard boots in this era have hobnails, and the platform is metal. So I'm going to say part of it discharges through you at 2 harm.
Okay, so that's 1 stress and a bit of trauma, I guess.
So no, harm.
Oh, sorry.
Harm.
Sorry. Right. Well, do you want to tell me, or do you want me to tell you?
So you can just take the harm, fried. That's the 2nd level of harm. Or you can use resolve, which since it's related to a tune, to sort of make sure that only a small part of it, goes well, or possibly all of it, to have the arc go somewhere else.
Yeah, well, it would be silly not to try resolve, wouldn't it?
Right.
Which is a straightforward 1D, I think.
Yep, just 1.
That purple one there. And Shazam. Oh, no, that was a bit painful.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
So you're just barely able to
hang on.
You're just barely able to drop the coil in time, and it grounds itself out to the railing instead of you. You are traumatized. What do you think is the right trauma for this?
I think this is it's physical trauma, isn't it? This is burnt hand, or
so the trauma is an emotional thing.
Your hand is
a little singed, but you're more or less.
I think that the reasonable trauma would be I would become slightly paranoid about using electroplasmic energy. Next time I need to run it through a device with a little bit more body.
Not
shielding. All right. So the smoke clears, and it's just Greaser. You've all close to him. You've all got rags over your faces and things like that. And when the smoke starts to clear, he realizes that you have him up against the wall. You're going to teach him a lesson, or are you going to teach him a final lesson?
Well, put him down.
So do all of you just do like Boondock Saints, just all take out your personal weapons and just unload into him?
Yeah, and then bury him in a pile of coal. It's the nearest to a building I can come up with.
Shale, did you have any?
I have no objection.
All right. So yeah, I'll say that Shale, the first thing you do is you knock him to the ground, and Vestine, you get a good cut on him, and then Costa, you just level your signature weapon at him, and boom. That's all she wrote for Greaser.
Because he was always going to come back. We got past the building. He hadn't.
Yep.
He's better off.
And so that was your one last score. Thank you for playing, everyone. I'm I'm very heartened that these sort of tossed together mechanics worked. If we'll do the debrief over on Discord in a few minutes, but what I want to do now is just everyone highlight something that another player did that you thought was particularly awesome. So we'll just start with Alan because he's furthest to the left. And we'll go through.
I think that I like that last bit of Shale's action where he dressed an opponent down for failing to hurt him appropriately. I thought that was very good.
And for making the situation worse, for not actually helping his buddy.
Exactly. And having that explained to him and having his manner stripped away very effectively. I thought that was very good. I liked that.
Thank you. It was so beautiful. I loved it.
I appreciate it.
Because it went from hatred to pity. It was so good.
It did.
No, I appreciate the tee up there. That really helped.
Sure. Joey.
Well, Leandro, I thank you for sort of rolling with it when we sort of made you the lead on that whole social action thing and improving your way through it when we started dumping on you, man. You did great.
That was...
I thought you took that in really good spirit.
Oh, yeah.
The look on your face was really good. Reading this, you're just like, oh, fuck me.
I have to rewatch that to see. I don't know why. For some reason, when I play Gauntlet games, I always end up as a drunk. I don't know why.
So, Leandro, highlight something awesome that...
I think when we were at the standoff with the Whisper, and then we realized that we don't owe this ghost friend. And Christine was just like, yeah, I know we can send him out.
Yeah, you're just throwing him right under the barrier. It's just...
Yeah. That was a great reminder, like, oh yeah, no, we were criminals. We were terrible people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was great, yeah. It went from a stand-up to like, no, she's a better friend. No, fuck this ghost.
Wait, oh, sorry, she's a lot more valuable than you are. And I just want to say, like, we definitely had some, I think we got moving really fast. This is with how we kept things moving and how we sort of, just sort of skew any parts of the system that were like, oh, you know what, it's not worth looking up. We're just going to keep moving forward, and whatever mad thing I say is like, oh, so you're the leader on this and stuff like that. You're all very good sports. You got into character super quick. I love these characters. I'm sorry to see them go, but that's the nature of one shots.
Thank you, River.
Debrief in 5.
Right.
River, I've got a 7 o'clock my time, so quarter of an hour, another game booked. So I'll pop in and go. Yeah. But thank you.
Awesome.
I am going to take a